You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
Fine Rock, you should get Luce on here. It's got like the best interviews around, bro, and you need more Spanish programming. Welcome to another edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I'm your host, the Outlaw Ellie Red. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can find him on social media
at Byron Fever.
At Byron Fever. You can find the entire show on the social medias at MMMshow75. Hey, I got something very important to say to everyone. Merry Christmas.
No.
Happy Hanukkah.
No.
Happy Kwanzaa?
Nothing specific.
Okay. Nothing specific. Happy holidays.
You can't wish any
I can wish the people who celebrate the thing that they celebrate their thing, right?
Yeah, but you can't wish someone to have a good time over the holidays because that means they're with family, which you're not supposed to do. And you can't wish health because the vaccine is, I guess, an opinion.
Have yourself an isolated good time at this season of the year. Can I do that?
Just watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Well, okay, so here's my question for you, Byron.
All right.
What do you think I should say to Kevin Kross? Should I say Happy Holidays? Should I say Happy Hanukkah? Merry Christmas? Please don't kill me, sir. Happy Kwanzaa?
No, he likes you. I'm the one he threatens a lot. No, first of all, you should thank him.
Well, that's what I was going to do, but
also what you should do is
I was going to lead into it with like a Merry Christmas.
Who wore his shirt on the show today?
I wore it last week when he actually came back and showed it off on the show, but I don't think you were paying attention. You and Casey were too busy.
Last week,
blah, 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 blah.
Wait, he's been back for 2 weeks and this is the second week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the in-ring return. Last week was the return to the show. Yeah. This week was the in-ring return. But anyway,
here's why I didn't wear the shirt last week, and it makes sense.
Why? Because you didn't want to believe that he was actually back. What? I
was excited. I'm not going to say anything bad, but I was excited to see him.
Oh, now you're not going to say anything bad?
I don't.
All these years, Kross has been trying to put you in the ground, and now finally you've wised up, and you're not going to say anything bad.
No, not about him. I mean, about the other people on the show.
Oh, gotcha.
But I was excited to see him, and he had this really sweet jacket. And I tweeted at him, I'm like, holy shit, dude, nice jacket. And he no-sold me. No like, no gif, nothing. So I didn't wear the shirt that week, but I wore the shirt this week.
Okay, so you're saying you have heat with Kross.
No,
or you had heat with Kross is what you're saying. You're saying you had heat with Kross, past tense.
I had a little passive-aggressive grudge for about 6 days.
Got it. Well, this week I can see why you're wearing it because specifically Kross, out of his own free will and volition, decided to respond to a post that was just asking in general for people on the internet. No one specific, wasn't asking him directly, just was saying, hey, people out there, what podcast do you listen to? And Kevin Kross responded early and often, and he mentioned keeping it 100. Great choice.
Would you like me to pull it up?
Great choice. Great choice. Yeah, go ahead and read the tweet. So Kevin Kross mentioned that, and then he mentioned what? I'm sorry, Karrion Kross. Did I call him Kevin again? He is going to murder me more than
I almost wanted to tweet at him. Thank you, Kevin. So here we go. The walking weapon, Josh Alexander, who's pretty dope in Impact, put out an open call for podcast recommendations, and Mr. Karrion Kross, sir, replied, a couple of my favorites, Keeping It 100 with Conan and another guy. Number 2 on the list, MMMshow with Justin Harvey and Byron Fever.
Yeah, this version of the show, not the version of the show that you see with Meatloaf and Jimmy V and Casey and all that stuff. This version, you see the host that he mentioned there, right? I just want to put, I got to put myself over because I know that if it said Casey and Meatloaf, we would never hear the end of it. So I think we should only return that favor in kind.
Yeah, that's what I appreciated the most about it. Also, the funny thing is, Casey is the originator of. I mean, we all saw Kross do dark matches and thought he was badass, but Casey was kind of like, he was the, is it the soothsayer? Am I using words completely wrong? But he was the one where we would be in the audience and a wrestler would come out and he'd be like, this guy's dope and here's why. And like, he knew
but wasn't he also the same guy that said Pentagon was going to win the strap at Ultima Lucha Dos?
He wanted him to.
Well, he wanted Killer Kross, Kevin Kross. God, I'm gonna get this right one of these days. Karrion Kross. He wanted him to be a legit badass. Mm-hmm. He wanted him to be a Lucha Underground performer. He wanted to see him succeed, and I would have to say that Casey has gotten all of those things correct. Hey, you know what I also want to point out though? Bring up that other comment that he made in reply to the MMMshow retweet. Because I think that I think that this is an important statement, not just because he made it, because again, he didn't really have to, but you have to go to the MMMshow retweet, Byron. So you would have to go to the MMMshow page. I'm just a little nervous about
navigating my Twitter and searches on the show, but I can blur it out like I have.
Why didn't you just do it off the screen and then put it back on the screen?
It's a lot of steps.
Byron is complicated in life in general.
So here we go. So, boom.
Yeah. So go ahead, read that. I can't see that. Hold on.
Master Mayhem. Just make your resolution bigger.
Hold on. There we go. Now I can still not see it. Oh. Just read it, Byron. You've got young, healthy eyes. You crazy ginger.
Yeah, I could play a 32. So, that doesn't really work outside of entertainment.
Well, you're in luck because 0.23% of the people who watch this show are definitely in entertainment. So at least somebody got the joke. Half a person got the joke.
I was in a UCB class and someone in the class referenced, we're all millennials, blah, blah, blah. And I looked around the room and no one stared at me awkwardly. So I thought, yeah, we are. All right. Sad. So Mass Mayhem. By the way, just for reference, whenever I walk around my apartment, I'm doing the Sam Jackson run from Captain Marvel. So the Mirage only works.
Okay. God, you have issues. I forget when the other guys aren't here how many issues you really, really have, Byron. But it's okay.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
We've been doing this for 149 episodes, so I guess if I haven't gotten used to it by now, I never will, right? So what does this thing say that I can't see because I'm old? I might as well just take these back off.
So Kross did the tweet, and MMMshow was number 2 on the list in no particular order. Could have been number 1. But and then MMMshow replied, quote, tweeted, can't ask for a better word of mouth than that. Thank you at WWE Karrion Kross. Prayer hand emoji. We are a non-denominational podcast.
Yeah, it's a thank you, hands.
Thank you, hands. Mr. Kross replied, never forget who gave a shit about you before the world knew your name. Thank you guys for always being behind me since day one. Hashtag Boyle Heights, skull emoji, temple emoji, skull emoji.
Dope. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing to understand about Karrion Kross. Super duper awesome guy. Yes. In fact, he has even asked WWE if he can return to this show at a very inopportune time, however. So I don't know that request is going to be approved, and I'll probably have to put in a formal media request to get him on the show. But he's a very by the books guy, and he's not going to just go rogue and do appearances that are not sanctioned. That's just not his style. But I will say this. He's not lying when he says stuff like that. You know, there's a reason why he still keeps his old personal Facebook account, even though he doesn't need to, simply because it's got 1,000 followers on it that have been close to them for a long time. He personally responds to most of those people. He does not need that account anymore. He is, in fact, a public figure. He has tens of thousands of new followers that spend lots of money on him and are getting him more and more popular in WWE every day. But it's just the way he chooses to conduct himself. He chooses to spend the time. And at some point down the road, maybe he won't have the time to do that, or maybe that list of people gets smaller and smaller. Who knows? I mean, that's the price of fame, whether he likes it or not. Because sometimes the demands on your time and the amount of people that he's probably going to meet in the next 5 years is going to be tremendous. A lot of those people are going to help him along the way. So, the day oneers may not necessarily always be the most important ones down the line. And I have seen that before, and I don't necessarily hold that against anyone. But I will definitely say this, at this point in time, that is 100% not the case with this guy. He's completely genuine. He tries to take care of the people around him. I'll tell you this from a personal conversation I had with him, and he might not like me saying this, but I will say that the day he won the belt, I had a brief DM conversation with him back and forth throughout that next week, and we were talking a little bit about his injury and whatnot. He felt terrible. He felt bad that whole month leading up to it. He knew what was going on, obviously. I don't know if he knew that they were putting the belt on him until closer to the show or whatever, but he had the belt put on him. But at the same time, remember when we're talking about, he had friends that were dealing with COVID. He had a lot of wrestlers who on the indie scene that couldn't find work. No promotions were running at the time. And on top of that, WWE had just let go a lot of people, several of which were friends of his. Others were just, colleagues and people that he was starting to work with. And it was tough for a genuine guy like that, a decent person, even though we know he's, a murderer and a killer. But, he's not a murderer and killer of his friends. And, here he is. He's getting the strap put on him. He's getting the push that he's probably always wanted throughout his whole life and his whole career. He's been working for years at this. He's gone through his ups and downs, which are his to share, not mine. And, here he is feeling melancholy about one of the biggest moments in his life, not because he has any lack of pride in what he's doing or where he's gotten to or what he's accomplishing, but the simple fact that other people couldn't be doing as well as him at that moment, that he didn't want to feel like he was capitalizing on a moment of weakness for others, and look, in chaos, there is a way to capitalize. Everyone knows that. That does not necessarily mean that it has to be disingenuous. He did it for, during a hard time when other stars couldn't be counted on for various reasons, when other stars were being let go. He made himself into a star. His promos were fire. His in-ring work was great. Not that they even needed to have him do much in the ring. I mean, honestly, if you look at his WWE career thus far, I think his longest match was the one he got hurt in.
Yeah.
That's the most in-ring time he's had, and he doesn't need much more than that. Now, I've seen him in 30, 40-minute classics or whatever, and he can go, but he may not ever really need to in WWE. Like, he may, in his entire WWE career, have maybe 2 or 3 matches that last more than 15 or 20 minutes. Let's be real. Like, does he need to go any longer than that?
WWE style, it's, less is more. I mean, they really do embody the whole Hulk Hogan working in Japan, Hulk Hogan working in America thing. It's like if you can pop a, Madison Square Garden by pointing at the crowd and flexing and handcuffing your ear, as opposed to getting clotheslined so hard you can't feel your fingers anymore. You're going to do option 1.
Well, that's not true for all of them. Some of them are really gluttons for punishment and will absolutely take the more difficult route. I don't know why, but that's just the way some of these guys roll.
Well, it's an art form.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, even Moxley could have taken a slightly softer road recently if he wanted to. He decided not to. That was completely up to him. He booked himself in all of that nonsense. Nobody told him he had to do any of it. Not one bit of it. Yeah. In fact, he was the one telling the other performers that were getting in the program with him that they had to do it because it was his program. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. One of the reasons why I bring up Kross, though, is because I think the important thing to look at here as he's going forward, you can listen to last week's episode if you want to hear us talk about kind of where I think the trajectory of Karrion Kross. I'm going to get this right one of these days. Mr. Kross is headed. And you can also hear a little bit about where he came from the week before that if you listen to our interview with Fred Rosser about having tagged with Kross early in his career and not even remembering him. I mean, Kross has come that far to being a guy that isn't even remembered by, upper middle tier performers in the WWE to a guy who is clearly on, everyone's tongue nowadays. Anyway, but the thing that I wanted to talk about was seeing him not go directly into the feud with Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get it. I kind of don't. I can't say that I'm stoked about it, but my problem is less about him not going into a feud with Finn Balor, and more about the fact that going into a feud with Damian Priest, I think is a mistake. I think this is a clear WWE mistake. I think these are two guys that are commodities. I believe that Kross is a much larger commodity and in the long run for them. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. But I don't see that either of them benefits from a win over the other one. And I only see that one of them could be dragged down by a loss to the other guy. And I know WWE is a master of keeping heat on guys, and they could have him lose and have something happen at the end of the match that builds the steam right back up or put him into some other hot feud immediately. But I worry about it because, in the time that Kross has been out, they've invested a lot in Priest, and they were investing a lot in him at the same time that Kross was coming up. And honestly, it was kind of back and forth between the two of them, like which guy was going to get the monster push. And I think Kross just luckily edged out Damian Priest because he cut a hotter promo,
Well, he cut a promo. Priest is still working on that.
Well, true. And exactly. And it's the reason why Kross is more of a commodity. But at the same time, they've put a lot of investment in Priest too. Do you see any benefit to this particular feud at this time?
I mean, I kind of think if you're the booker storyteller, and you don't want to go straight into the Finn thing right away.
I think Finn doesn't want him to go straight into the Finn thing right away. But
I don't really, honestly, I don't, I mean, not that I know Finn at all, and not that I've ever heard a word about him backstage, but I don't know how much of a shitster he is, backstage. I don't
think that he's a shitster. I think that he is rightfully in, I wouldn't even say defense of his position, but rightfully protective of his spot. He's been a little further up the ladder, and he's realistically back down the ladder a little ways, in exposure and in push. Not necessarily in the caliber of entertainer he is or his value to the fans, but I think within the company, he is at a lesser position than he once was. I mean, this is a guy who was crowned the first Universal Champion. And I think that now he's a little protective of where he is. And I think, look, being realistic, facing a guy like Kross offers Finn Balor nothing.
Yeah, but I see him as oh man, where to go? It's just he's always going to get paid well.
Yes,
by WWE to not work somewhere else. Now you can read the dirt sheets and see rumors about Vince not getting him, not buying into him anymore. But they will absolutely not they'll pay him $500,000 a year just to not work in Jacksonville.
Correct.
So and then that being said, he had an awesome run in Japan, and which will have him over the whole world forever now. And now he gets to work in Florida, commute from, I guess, Brooklyn is where he lives or something, which is not a bad flight. He has a hot wife, and he probably has all the Legos he wants. Like I see, and he's getting all the silly tattoos too. He's supposed to be an evil Bullet Club Prince Devitt, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but I see though. I think he's doing great with that, even though he's kind of a part timer. And he's doing the subtle stuff like the cross smoke. Like he looks at the smoke and he's laughing, like this guy's stealing my thing, Right. Like that's awesome. But don't go into it right away. Like especially when you have someone like Finn Balor, and you have someone like Karrion Kross. They're both good storytellers with a lot of experience doing it. So let's develop a story that has a little bit more meat to it. I think as a storyteller, Damian Priest right now is probably in one of the best spots to put Kross in a program. And it's up to Damian Priest, after kind of being groomed for the past however many months by programs with very charismatic, even Leon Ruff, like very charismatic performers, and trying to get him to have an on-screen personality outside of the ring.
Right.
It's up to him to be over at the end of a program.
Well, I agree with you, but at the same time, with his character and his style, the only thing that gets Priest over at all is a win over Kross. And I will say that a win over Kross would do a little bit for the Damian Priest character, but it would sully the work that they put into the Kross character at this point. Like, can you see Kross getting a loss, put him on him at this stage by Damian Priest? And is that good for TV?
Kross has to win. I mean, if you just look at the two of them, Kross, and just how they conduct themselves and everything, Kross has to go over. And also, like, he has to go over to get to the next program. I think Damian Priest has been showing a bit of character and personality with the North American program with Johnny and with Leon Ruff, where and he's also taken some losses. Like, I think that's an important part that he needs to develop, where he can still kind of be entertaining or interesting or someone you want to pay attention to. If he loses, oh man, what's he going to do next? You know, that's the thing. Like, you got to balance that.
Well, and I get that, but at the same time, look, here's the thing that I think a lot of people miss in wrestling, even some promoters and bookers. Wrestlers themselves are commodities, and they're treated as such. They're traded on the open market, they're bid on back and forth, and you have to look at, when you're investing in these commodities, what they do for the bottom line. It's no different than if you're looking at oil futures. If you're a person who's really in-depth into oil futures, what are you looking at? You're looking at seeing what giant truck Ford's going to release next year, how many pre-orders there are, and how many people are going to buy them. You want to know that the gasoline is going to be consumed. This is what you do if you are trading in oil futures. You want to know where the oil is going to be used. You're worried about, green cars and solar panels and other stuff like that. So you're looking at the commodities. And if you look realistically at wrestlers, you should be able to tell a certain amount of their trajectory from looking at them as commodities. Now, that doesn't mean something won't hit out of the blue and be worth a new investment, or, be worth a small investment now and a big payoff later, which you see is a lot of the wrestling business. A lot of the wrestling business is you take a small shot on something that doesn't hurt your bottom line. And if it pays off big, great. You get a Bailey every now and then that sells a crap ton of t-shirts that you weren't expecting to. Then all of a sudden she's totally over when you thought that she was going to be the third tier of the women that came out of NXT. She actually became more valuable than most of them because she sold merch, because she got over with younger fans, because she reached a new audience, So then but it's still a commodity. It's a commodity that you put a small amount of investment in. Kross, however, if you look at him, you got to look at the futures there. When you look at a guy like Karrion Kross, you say to yourself, oh, I could see him wrestling Randy Orton. Oh, I could see him having a hot feud down the road with Keith Lee again. We've already built that up. Oh, I could see him going against Bray Wyatt and doing a Fiend versus, Doomsday kind of thing. You could see all of that. You can see the upside. You can see the pay-per-views. You can see Kross doing a cage match. You could see Kross taking a big bump off the side of a Hell in the Cell. You could see him busting out of an elimination chamber. You can see the futures in the guy. You already see that his t-shirts are moving, and that darker kind of goth, dark metal style is going to sell, and probably is selling better than Aleister Black already, because they didn't do very good. Exactly. They didn't do very good logos.
I got to say, though, I love Tommy End.
I do too.
I don't mean that as an insult on him.
No, it's true, though. Aleister doesn't do it, right? And there's a guy who had lots of futures, but what he had from the indies as Tommy End, when he came in, didn't last very long. Like, he had a little bit of that juice. He had a little bit of that heat. They WWE-ized him, and it didn't quite go as planned. It wasn't bad.
I think he has a cool thing. I think the powers that be ruined him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They did. Yeah,
I think he has it. But he also is kind of a quiet person.
But they also didn't capitalize on what he had going on the indies. They did not really do it. Whereas Kross's, every bit of his own personal mythology that he created is still viable now. He could rerun any clip that he's put on YouTube, any match that he's had in the last 5 years. He could put it out as a part of his current storyline, and it 100% fits. Whether it's Impact, even the fact that he played some zany, godlike character in Lucha Underground that was completely fictitious, past beyond kayfabe, doesn't matter. It still fits the persona of where he is, and it's still a commodity. Yeah. It makes him a more valuable commodity to bet on. So here's my problem with the Damian Priest thing. You put him up against Damian Priest, it doesn't do anything for your commodity. If he wins, he's supposed to win. If he loses, it bolsters the other guy and it hurts your commodity. Like at the end of the day, they gotta be looking at the bottom line with Karrion Kross. And I gotta say that, like, wrestlers as commodities, there's some out there that you can see it, you see the upside, and then there's other guys where it's harder to find. Like, it's harder to find the upside of a Seth Rollins. It takes more time. It took more years. Like, the upside of Roman Reigns was there faster than Seth Rollins, even though they had the same kind of background coming in, they had the same storylines, they had the same amount of TV time exposure. It took longer to build Seth. It just did. He's not as big. He's not as imposing. His style isn't the same thing. The way he cuts a promo is fine and good, but you've seen it before. There's nothing wrong with Seth. And I think that he's every bit as good a worker as Roman is all day long. I think he's every bit as good a guy in the locker room as Roman is all day long. Roman just has more of a commodity to him. He's got a better lineage to him. He's got a better look to him. He's got a better size and frame to him. He can sells merch better. The whole thing. It's just better for Roman. Kross is the same way. It's just better for him. There's not another performer in NXT right now that's on his level as a commodity, not even Finn, because Vince already squandered Finn as a commodity and doesn't believe in him as a commodity. I think the big thing is going to be Kross is going to do fine at NXT. He's never going to be an issue there, even if he takes a few losses, gets in some feuds, goes back and forth and whatever. But until he gets in front of Vince on one of Vince's shows, I'm not saying that Vince hasn't even seen him or that he's not on Vince's radar. I believe that he probably is at this point in time. But until he gets on one of Vince's shows and shows Vince that he can do it, that he can go and cut the backstage promos, he can go out there, get the crowd behind him, or can work a room with no crowd, do a hot segment that does a big quarter hour. Until then, he's going to be in a little weird place. My other problem with this whole thing is Kyle O'Reilly really a commodity?
I love Kyle O'Reilly.
I love Kyle O'Reilly too, but I'd rather see Kyle O'Reilly versus Kross than versus Finn. We know what the result of Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor. What is that going to get you?
It's Kyle O'Reilly versus Kross. That's something where, just like with the Finn match, they're both going to get over it, and it's just going to be...
And I wouldn't even mind seeing Kross take a loss to Kyle O'Reilly. I wouldn't at all. I could see that being a hot best of 3 feud and let that go for 5-6 months.
Because Kyle O'Reilly is legit, just like Kross is legit, and Kross will know how to work with that. And but
Kyle O'Reilly is to Finn Balor what Laredo Kid was to Kenny Omega. He's a handpicked opponent in a holding match.
See, I don't know about that, but I do think that he is like the Daniel Bryan B+ player from that whole storyline. Like, you could see the difference from when Adam Cole was leading Undisputed Era, and then he stepped down for a minute, injury, whatever stuff, and Kyle O'Reilly popped up. He just doesn't have... He's working on it, and he's getting better, but he is more of a subtle person, and he is a bit of a goofball, and he doesn't have that presence yet where he can take a mic in the middle of a ring and be the alpha in the room of everyone. But he could come down and play belt guitar and kick the shit out of people and be awesome, you know? So, like, I don't imagine him... I could see him beating Kross because he could probably do something that would make sense in the way Kross is fighting him.
I think the psychology that those two could put into a match would be super duper fun. I think those two could come up with something that would make sense. I think you get the guys in the back saying, "Hey, can you guys do something that leads us to here?" And those two would work some magic. I don't, however, see that happening with Finn and Kyle. I just don't think there's... I don't think there's... Their match is fine, but I don't see any magic in the overall commodity of doing Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly.
See, for me, that's it's kind of
I'd rather see a Kyle O'Reilly Cameron Grimes feud. I'd rather see Kyle O'Reilly feud with Damian Priest. I just don't.
No, I see the New Japan, Super Juniors, whatever. And also, I see that New Japan Junior style.
I get the style. I'm just saying it doesn't bolster the commodity at all. It's just a one-off good match. I don't think it gives you anything more to go on. And honestly, I could even see Damian Priest in that title spot. I could see I could see the bruiserweight could be in there. I could see anybody else in that spot right now over Kyle O'Reilly.
I can't stand Pete Dunne and his orange skin anymore. It just looks so weird.
Oh, he's the Tasmanian devil. It wasn't Taz. It's Pete Dunne. It's hilarious.
I think there's a subsection of fans where you have inherent backstories out of Japan, which is something we are touching on with Kenny that he carries with him and plays with, at select times.
Yeah, I get that. I think
for me, being a New Japan fan and going back and watching a lot of the archives, it's just to see Kyle O'Reilly and Finn go at it, and to see, after a big match, to see Finn and Adam Cole to sweet each other backstage. And it doesn't go anywhere in the storylines, but where they came from, and there's that respect. And then you see that sort of thing in the match with Kyle O'Reilly. And to me, with that, it's just, to me, I have that extra background. And
I get that, but realistically, they should try to go somewhere in the storylines with those things if they want them to help these guys be commodities. And I think that Kyle O'Reilly is a hot commodity. I think Kross is the hottest commodity in NXT right now, maybe followed by Shotzi Blackheart, to tell you the truth. I think there's huge upside to Shotzi Blackheart. I think they need to get her on Raw at some point in the near future too. NXT is really good for her, but at some point, if they can't get her driving that tank down the ramp at Raw over, then they've wasted their time. And I think that it's hot now, so they got to do it soon. Like, I would love to see Shotzi at WrestleMania drive the tank down the ramp for any reason. I don't care if it's a gimmick or what.
Don't give her Miro's old tank. I don't know if that thing's been washed. Get her own tank. But yeah, she's the pure baby face that they can't mess up. Like Bailey, they messed up, but she's just gonna
look. They may have messed Bailey up eventually, but Bailey made them a lot of money along the way. I think they did fine with Bailey in the long run, and if they do just as good with Shotzi, she'll be in a good place for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, look, Karrion Kross is back. He wrestled this week. It was a very, very short affair as usual. It's kind of nice and refreshing to see the old school squash against a jobber-esque. There's no real jobbers anymore, but jobber-esque person. Hey, Meatloaf, how's it going?
Hello. Just finished work.
Have you gone to see some footy? What's going on back there?
No, we don't talk about the football.
Are you
really? Number one of those now too?
I mean, you certainly talk politics at work, but you don't talk football at work. That's the line.
No.
We
lost heavily today.
You just finished work, so you look like you're walking through some back alleys. What exactly do you do after work to decompress?
That's a trolley bay.
Oh well, I'm just lying for the audio listeners.
I think he's on his way to have some chips.
I wish. I'd love some chips.
And by chips, I don't mean potato chips.
You mean French fries?
Have we talked about Canelo smashing Callum Smith last night?
We have not talked about that sparring match yet. It was pretty much just a sparring match.
I have a question. Meef, if you can wait a few minutes while we listen to Denise. We were about to, I think, wrap and listen to the Lucha Central
Okay,
promo.
let's do that.
And then we'll come right back.
We'll be right back after this. We're going to listen to our good friend Denise Salcedo over there in Lucha Central to find out everything that's happening this week on the Lucha Central Podcast Network.
Hey everyone, it's Denise Salcedo here in Lucha Central with a reminder of where and when to catch all of the great network content this week. Get the full lineup and listen to all of our shows in the Podcast Network section of luchacentral.com. Sundays on the Lucha Central Facebook page, world-traveled shooter of the camera kind, Jerry Villagrana goes mano a mano with a fellow photographer to throw down about some of their favorite photos they have taken at Lucha Libre events. Monday, Business of the Business returns as Mass Republic President Kevin Kleinrock takes you inside how your favorite Lucha Libre merchandise gets made. On Tuesdays, Mass, Mats, and Mayhem takes you inside the world of Lucha Underground as they take you weekly through the series with the benefit of hindsight and the benefit of special guests from the groundbreaking series. Check out the premiere video stream every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Lucha Central YouTube channel and at luchacentral.com. Then listen to it on your favorite podcast platform every Wednesday. Tuesday nights live, it's Wrestle Boss, where Fabi Chulo talks MMA and pro wrestling with special guests and listener call-ins. Visit WrestleBossLive.com Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific to listen live or call in with questions or download the show on podcast platforms on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights live on Facebook, it's Spanish show La Mesa de los Márgaros, giving you both the news and the chisme from around the lucha world. Special guests and a whole lot of fun make it one of the most talked about shows in Mexico. Thursdays, it's Straight Out of the Bodega with Papo Esco and PWR promoter Gabriel Ramirez as they have guests from throughout the wrestling world pull up to give an inside look into their careers. From indie standouts to television superstars, each week brings a new name and perspective. On Friday, it's your double dose of Lucha Central Weekly podcast, one in English y el otro en español. Lucha Central Weekly is where you'll find all the top stories of the week, both inside and out of the ring from Mexico and anywhere luchadores are in action across the globe. Be sure to subscribe and follow all your favorite Lucha Central Network series on your favorite podcast platforms, either by their own series name or subscribe to the Lucha Central Podcast Network show pages to get all of the shows in one easy feed. And please consider giving a rating to help more fans find the shows that you love. For now, this is Denise Salcedo signing off from Lucha Central Central. Have a great week.
And we're back. No, but hey, Meef, while you're here, I got to talk about this crazy Lucha Underground, AAA, AAA, Lucha Libre, FMV, Productions, Antonio Peña.
You know,
holy crap! Where is the AAA YouTube channel right now?
The YouTube went down. Well, hold on, this is funny. The YouTube went down, and everyone is like, you know what? It could be the worst case. It could be just a glitch. Let's see what happens tomorrow. And then their fucking Facebook goes down.
Here's the thing.
The Facebook's gone as well.
Yeah, the Facebook's gone now. So a quick catch up for those who didn't listen last week, or for those who couldn't follow it last week, because even in the comments, some people were like, so does that mean that MGM is doing? First of all, take MGM completely out of the equation right now. MGM has absolutely nothing to do with the current turmoil going on. They are purely the company with the TV rights to produce Lucha Underground if it is a program, and some of the IP addressed to that. So the only way that they factor in is if somebody is trying to make an American TV show out of the intellectual property that Lucha Libre FMV owns, which is the American company, Lucha Libre Factory Made Ventures. Okay, so first of all, just take MGM completely out of the equation. Now, the other parties that are involved, first, the other thing to understand in a very weird turn of events, the actual company AAA doesn't own anything.
Shit.
Lucha, the AAA, the actual company, really is just a company that puts on the physical shows in a house. That is literally all they do. They don't control any intellectual properties. They don't control TV rights. They don't control anything other than putting on an actual show. That's all AAA.
Owns AAA. Used to own part of the company that owns all the IP and then walked away and has now lost all the rights to the fucking IP.
Which is the most ridiculous part. So that person being Dorian Roldan, him and Marcelo own a portion of PAP, which is Productions Antonio Peña. So they are the parent company of AAA. They own basically AAA, and they are the company that had the rights to all the intellectual property, that has all the TV deals, that makes all the real money. Now, when Lucha Underground was going to come to the United States and Dorian wanted to do that, Marcelo was going to stay in Mexico and do the other thing. So he needed to find investors here. He got with a few other guys, including Fogelman and the other Antonio and these other guys, got investors, and they formed Lucha Libre Factory Made Ventures. I believe Factory Made already existed before that, and they kind of combined with Dorian, made a new holding company that we always refer to as the LLC. And they got from AAA the rights to use the IP. So Dorian basically licensed to himself the IP. Come to find out that later in the course of doing that, to make the deals with MGM and El Rey and to get the show on the air, he had to basically sell himself the rights to almost every intellectual property that was AAA's outside of Mexico. Didn't stop AAA from using them in Mexico. Didn't stop PAP from making any money that they already had going. But basically it was saying, yeah, these other people have to produce the stuff in America, so they have the rights to all these things in America, but did more than that, actually gave them the intellectual properties. And we're talking for almost all of AAA's intellectual properties, just so that they could make Lucha Underground. Come to find out that it's just, he got on the train. It turns into this crazy situation now where El Rey was looking to get out of whatever they have under their belts, kind of opened up some books, sent some things rolling down the line. Basically, all the agreements with Lucha Underground are slowly starting to come to pass, where their time is running out, their contracts are running out. MGM still has some more time on the TV production rights and their stuff, but especially El Rey's rights to Lucha Underground should be coming up soon here. I had heard originally that it was going to be this past November. I don't know if that is officially passed or not, or if they still have some claim to being the place where it would air and the network for it. Who knows? But in the course of doing all that, Lucha Libre FMV, at some point in time in October, Dorian decided to part ways with this company, just go back to running AAA. They had all sorts of great stuff going on with Marvel, and they're trying to get running again with their Autos Luchas thing. And all, they got this Triple Mania up on short notice, and it was actually a great event. Like, AAA had stuff going on. Lucha Libre FMV had zero going on. Dorian had a good Twitch thing going on, and they got rid of that, and they kind of moved over to YouTube, and they had, good Facebook numbers and everything going. Like, their American stuff wasn't great, but it was going. He decides to leave Lucha Libre FMV, and all of a sudden, after he leaves, that company files a lawsuit trying to get a piece of all of the rights, saying that they are the sole distributor for these intellectual properties outside of Mexico. That's not even just saying the U.S., that's saying that literally all that Dorian and PAP own is whatever happens in Mexico. And outside of that, it is all theirs. Basically, that AAA has a license to use their intellectual property, but only in Mexico. They don't own any of it. So that leads us to now where the Facebook is down, the YouTube is down. And here's the thing. I don't know that an injunction could have moved that fast to force them to pull those things down. I don't know. This is because of the lawsuit, first of all. But I don't know that this is what benefits LLFMV, the American side of this, Fogelman and his cronies and whoever's over there running Lucha Libre Factory Made Ventures. I wouldn't be surprised if this was Dorian going a little fire sale on them, taking it down now before it goes to court, bleeding them out a little bit, making them see that, hey, fine, you don't want me to run it here? I won't run it here. I'll just deal with my Mexico stuff. And then by the time they get to court, Dorian's going to say, hey, no, in good faith, I stopped doing all that stuff. I don't have any of that stuff up. I stopped as much of it as I could. And he's going to bleed them out. And then the second that the case is done, he'll probably put it right back up and then make them sue them again. I don't know. But in these kind of situations, it doesn't make sense that LLFMV would actually want the stuff down. They don't want Dorian to make less money with AAA properties. They want to be paid money for him making money off of AAA properties. They want him to either buy them out or they want a piece of whatever he's actually making now. They want a chunk of that Marvel money. They want a chunk of the advertisement money from being worldwide on YouTube. They want some of the money. They don't want the stuff to disappear. They don't want to actually file an injunction. That doesn't help them. That lessens the value of their intellectual property. So I don't think it's them. I don't think that a court injunction came down telling Dorian that he had to take the stuff down. I don't believe that they filed a copyright infringement claim with YouTube and Facebook to make him pull it down. I think PAP pulled it down themselves. Maybe I'm crazy. I could be completely wrong. That's my theory. What do you think, Byron?
I have no idea. I think it was just at first an issue of maybe AAA messed something up, or maybe there was a glitch and they lost their YouTube channel for a day. But I have no idea what's happening here. It's just to start things off. The people who are doing something don't own the thing they're doing, but that's the way it's set up on purpose. I'm lost at that point. I'm not making sense of any of it. Like I'm too far behind.
Look, and these are all people who have worked very closely together for quite some time. They were the united front against MGM and Univision and El Rey for a long time concerning the IP. But also at the same time, for people who don't understand the whole situation, Lucha Underground not touring wasn't MGM's fault, wasn't El Rey's fault. It was LLFMV's fault. They own the IP. They could have gone out on the road as soon as they wanted to. They could have made more t-shirts. They own the IP. MGM wasn't going to make any money off of t-shirts, guys. It's not Eric Van Wagenen's fault there wasn't a better t-shirt. He would have loved for there to have been more t-shirts because it's free publicity for his show. Yeah. Robert Rodriguez would love for there to be more t-shirts because it's free publicity for his network.
You think about Lucha Underground touring and doing shows. Why wouldn't you have your AAA wrestlers cash in at least on the Lucha Underground stuff at already ongoing AAA shows? They simply were not doing anything with
correct. And part of this is because LLFMV, Fogelman's more of a Hollywood guy. I don't think he understood that part of it. I don't think he understood the Carney making a mark and selling him something aspect of wrestling that you grind in wrestling. And if you look at a company like LLFMV, here's what they were looking at: a tremendous amount of expenditure to develop the IP initially, to draw up those Mil Muertes documents, to get the guys up here from Mexico. They put in a lot of money. They really did. And they did a great job with it. But come seasons 1 and 2, the big problem with Lucha Underground was the fact that those guys were not in a position to want to spend more money. They didn't want to dole out money to go and tour, but it also means that they were losing sight of what they had. And I think that they always thought that maybe the TV production would, or El Rey would, but outside of throwing a few events, like the South by Southwest, everyone wonders why South by Southwest was the only big event, because Robert Rodriguez stood something to gain from that. It was in his own backyard, and he didn't mind helping foot the bill for that. You wonder why the In Vivo was the only other live shows they did, because Cricket Wireless paid for them. Cricket Wireless paid for that. Lucha Libre FMV did not want to spend another red cent outside of what money they had already spent. They were in the red. They were owed money. They had spent tons of money developing Lucha Underground. So if you want to know why there's no t-shirts, Lucha Libre FMV. You want to know why there was no tours? Lucha Libre FMV. They're still the villains. Now they're suing an active wrestling company, and they are the reason you don't get to turn on YouTube and watch AAA right now. It's Lucha Libre FMV. These guys
WrestleMania. There's WrestleMania, there's Wrestle Kingdom, and there's Triple Mania, and probably one of the spring breaks. And you can't watch one of them now because of Lucha Libre FMV.
That's what I'm saying. And it's crazy to me. And don't get me wrong. I think that Dorian and AAA are actually the ones pulling this stuff down. I don't think that they've been forced to pull this stuff down yet. Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Meave just joined. He got home from work. Can you just quickly recap so we can comment on it?
Meave, I think FMV. Yeah, I think that
I'm joking, by the way.
Yeah,
I think. Well, but I mean, more
run in, had a shower.
I do think that it is too soon for any injunctions to have worked. I don't think that Lucha Libre FMV has forced AAA to take this stuff down. I think that AAA is taking it down preemptively, either to help them combat the lawsuit, or to just freeze these guys out so that there's nothing for them to make money off of, and that their claim is kind of baseless. We'll see if that's the case or not. Nobody really knows. None of these people are answering. I don't have a ton of contacts in either of these two portions of the Lucha Underground puzzle. I have all my contacts in the other two portions of the Lucha Underground puzzle, but I know that people at Mass Republic that have very close ties with AAA are getting no answers right now. I don't think that Lucha Blog's getting any answers. I don't think Rob Viper's getting any answers. I don't think that Conan's getting any answers. I don't think that anyone is getting any answers on exactly what's happening here, which is even more suspicious. I don't, considering Dorian used to be the main person involved in this company that is now suing him, the whole thing is highly suspect. I don't get it. Maybe it's a plot for him to get out from underneath PAP. Who knows?
Dun, 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 a third man.
Maybe they're going to kill off AAA, and then a month later, there'll be a new wrestling company for A's.
Yeah, America, AAA. I can't even say all the other words in AAA. Anyway, I find it very...
I was going to say I've got a solution for them.
What's that?
To sort them out.
Why don't they just
need to ring Hio del Fantasma.
Oh, jeez.
And ask him about that nice lawyer he had who caused Lucha Libre FMV to shit themselves last time.
No,
again, something else that, by the way, El Rey really had no issue with. El Rey had no issue with. MGM had no issue with. Phantasma and Thunder Rosa and all those guys, their lawsuit was with LLFMV. That was their entire problem. No one else was stopping them from doing anything. And you see exactly what happened. It went exactly the way it should have for the workers because LMV was wrong.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff, even like the WWE no competes, they're not really like in solid ground standing, but they play on the fact that the talent, the wrestler just either doesn't know or doesn't have the resources, or
it's like I have people at work who ask me how long they have to give a notice. So like, some job, like in one of my jobs, it was like, well, we'd like you to give a week's notice for every year you've worked here after 2 years. So 2 week minimum. And I was like, you can quit. And my mate was like, what? I went, you can quit and just walk away.
Yeah, because literally, for insurance reasons, almost every contract in the world these days is an at-will contract. Very few people are on actual formal salaried contracts anywhere in the world anymore because it just doesn't work for liability purposes. But
also, COVID has gotten a lot of people redundancy from their jobs.
Yeah, dude. Here's what
I see about SAG as well. By the way, SAG came out last week. Or like a couple of weeks ago, and said that they were looking to contact a load of wrestlers about helping them out.
And that's
especially it was from the UK, admittedly. I think this new story came from, so I don't know if it got over there. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing. SAG or no SAG, the way that wrestlers should be employed at this point in time, honestly, I believe that every wrestler, when they come into a company, should be given a character name and a gimmick, and then they should be treated like actors the entire time. And if you think about the contracts that our actors are on, look at the cast of Grey's Anatomy. You know what happens? They shoot Grey's Anatomy for like 7 or 8 months of the year. And then for those 4 or 5 months where they're not shooting the show, what do? They go out and do a feature film. They're allowed to do other work in their profession. They're still actors. They're not playing the same character. They're playing a different character. And maybe they're typecast, but they should... Go ahead, Byron.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, you don't, in your off season, go film ER, but yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's like, look, the Dust Till Dawn, the Dust Till Dawn actors, they were in the same weird limbo as Lucha Underground. But guess what?
Oh, yeah, go.
They were actors. They were allowed to go out and do other acting. Wrestlers weren't allowed to go out and do other wrestling. What the hell kind of sense does that make? And it's not just Lucha Underground. That's with all these companies. They have these weird no competes and this, that, and the other thing. And like, look, make it simple. Make them a character, make them an actor, treat them like they're actors, You know, they're physical performing actors, but you don't own them. You own the character. You own what they do on the show. You don't own what they do in their private life. Like if Kirsten Dunst is releasing Spider-Man 400, you know, she's going to go out and talk about the movie some, but then she's also got her own social media. She might also be doing a Christmas record with Miley Cyrus or something. Who cares?
You know,
She's
what would be great.
famous. It doesn't all have to be part of her job. You know, if she has a Twitch channel, she can have a Twitch channel.
It would be great if she was doing Spider-Man and then in the same year, if not the same month, also released an Asylum Spider-Man knockoff with like the non-copyright name.
Well, look, you know,
Arachno Man.
Kirsten Dunst, 50 years old now. I'm sure she's not doing any type of Spider-Man movie at this point, but that's beside the point. It's just a random celebrity name I pulled from the ether.
You could take anyone and make them look like they're 20-something years old in a TV show.
Like Luke Skywalker.
According to Mandalorian, you absolutely can. And spoiler alert, people, Luke Skywalker's in this episode of The Mandalorian. If you haven't watched it already, suck it. I'm sorry. It was amazing. Plus, Boba Fett's getting his own spin-off show on the same day that the original Boba Fett died. Rest in peace. That's super sad.
Oh, no.
Me for some boxing. Me, you gotta tell me. By the way, I love that when Luke walked in, they're like, "Hey, are you a Jedi?" After he just killed all these robots that has a lightsaber, and he's all, "Yeah."
Well, and
It's like
clearly
all
he's
box to
not
box.
that much older either, so Jedi shouldn't have dropped completely out of everyone's minds yet.
Yeah, but like, how?
It's 5 years after Last Hope, isn't
Why did they have
Revenge of the Jedi.
Why do they have to?
That's what I'm saying. Literally, everybody in the galaxy has to know that a Jedi just destroyed another Death Star.
Me on camera.
On camera, me. All we can do is hear it. We can't see anything.
No, move it. Yeah. Okay, now slow. No. Hold on. Put it back.
He wants to play with it. He doesn't care about showing it to
I
you.
wanted to see it.
You had it for 5 months.
I had it for a few days. What's up? To your left. Yeah, lower, higher.
Further away and higher.
There we go. Hey, that's a nice gun.
I don't know if that's his gun you're looking at, Byron. I think you're looking at his Brian Cage.
He's looking for his Brian Cage anyway.
I'm so glad that finally made it to you, Meef.
Oh, that was so funny.
That it finally
I just
got
want to make
there.
sure as well, you didn't send any ball things, did you?
Any what?
Anything from Manscaped? Nothing was from Manscaped was coming, was it?
I don't have any of that.
Oh, sweet. No, I just wanted to make sure.
Byron moved his dresses
yeah.
right the day that package showed up. So there's some rando in New York City shaving himself very nicely right now.
No, they came and took it back. I told my old neighbor, if you see that box, grab it and shave your balls. And he said they already took it.
Which, by the way, I want to wish everybody a Merry, Merry Christmas. And you know what you do to have a Merry Christmas? You know what you want to deck your halls with? No, you want to deck your balls.
Meef, I don't know how many cameras you have on your phone, but you're not. There we go. Oh, that's cool.
Wait, I'm doing the Manscaped thing while he's doing that. Keep going, Meef. I'm going to talk about ball shaving. The Lawnmower 3.0. Have you used that before, Byron?
Should we go to the full screen? Whatever.
No, just leave Meef on there. I'm just talking about Manscaped. Listen, here's the deal. Lawnmower 3.0, awesome. The crop mop ball preservers, awesome. Crop mop ball wipes, crop preserver, great. Skin safe, advanced skin safe technology, amazing. It's really, really simple. Here's what you do, people. You take some of that Christmas money you're about to get this week, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or whatever you celebrate. You take your gift. You go to www.manscaped.com. You put in code MMM, and you get 20% off. Okay, in the UK, Australia, America, and our great 51st state to the north of Canada. And then you do this. You go home. You pull down your drawers.
Yeah.
You pull out your junk. You look at it in disgust, and you say, oh, my God, I need to fix that. You fire up the Lawnmower 3.0. The skin-safe technology will completely protect you. You got this fancy guide light, and you just go, Then you go over a little bit and you go, and then you go over a little bit more and you go.
That's what it sounds like when you use it. I'm concerned for you.
No, you lift up your leg, you pull it to the side a little bit. You get right in that crease because you know what? It's going to come right off. All that hair, all that muckety muck down there, right off. Right onto the nice newspaper you have on the floor that's printed with cool lawnmower 3.0 stuff right there on it. They give you the newspaper to collect the trimmings from your goo.
Oh, really well.
Yeah.
And then you collect it and you throw it in Tory's faces.
Nope. That's not what we do with it. No. Tories buy these products too. Meef.
So
just saying.
No, they don't. They like to keep it rugged and horrible because they're horrible people.
No judgment from Meef ever on this show.
They cut it with scissors so that it's still stubble and really rashy and horrible.
That is true. They need to get code MMM at manscaped.com right now and not ever do that again. I wouldn't wish a scissor cut testicle on even my worst enemy.
Yeesh. So with the upcoming holiday season, there's two things that are going to happen. One, you're staying home and you are not going to go travel to see family. And so you're going to be bored.
Fuck you, London.
And you're going to be bored and sad on the holidays. You're going to open up the dating apps. You're going to start swiping and you're going to try to mix it up on the holidays with some stranger in your neighborhood.
Start swiping, start wiping those balls.
So yes, what Meef said. All right. If you're going to risk your life over the holidays, at least have nice smelling, easily visible balls. And also, we all know, especially, for other people,
wrestling fans,
when you trim the hair, things look.
It makes you feel better. It makes you feel like more of a man sometimes. Look, I'm all cleaned up right now with nowhere to go. I don't care. I still use my stuff, man. I'm all cleaned up because I know it's vegan. Listen, no, I got to say this part. It's on the list. I have to say this part. Go ahead, Byron.
You can say it afterwards, or else people are going to forget why it makes sense. Why I'm saying.
Oh no, okay, you're right. We will forget that you make sense. Go ahead.
I will forget if I have to wait any longer. But also the second thing, if you are flying back home and you're doing that whole thing, then you're most likely going to get tired of your family and head out to the TGI Fridays and see all the people you went to high school with. And who knows what's going to happen? Probably a lot of really nasty things. Let's make it a little less nasty for the holidays. And also shave your balls and put the wipes on them.
Byron, you know what the nastiest thing that happens at a TGIF is?
What?
You eat food from a boiling bag. It's gross. Don't go to thank God it's Fridays. That's Fridays.
Whoa.
Is terrible.
No. The Jack Daniel's sauce, hoisin, is fantastic.
I love hoisin sauce. You could get that anywhere.
Because it's all
no. But they do one with Jack Daniel's, and it's amazing.
Okay, we're talking about some other company now. Look, the things you need to know. Listen, the things you need to know about Manscaped are that it is a 100% vegan product. It is cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free. Your manhood's in good hands. Get your Christmas balls all wrapped up nicely the right way this holiday at manscaped.com using code MMM for 20% off in the UK, Australia, America, and the great 51st state of Canada. Listen, we'll be right back. We're going to run a little thing here, and I still got to talk about an episode of Lucha Underground.
We're going to do that?
All night.
I do like the vegan thing because on the long list of things I think animals should die for, I don't think my balls smell is one of them.
All night long, all night. How long do I have to sing the Lionel Richie thing before you go to break?
Lucha-masks.com, in partnership with Mask Republic, give you personal protective masks to keep you Lucha strong in the fight versus COVID-19. With world-class luchadors Blue Demon Jr., the Lucha Brothers, LA Park, Ultimo Dragon, Cain Velasquez, Conan, and so much more. Head to lucha-masks.com and you too can become a masked warrior. Lucha-masks.com, powered by Pro Wrestling Revolution.
So, top 5 Lionel Richie songs.
All night.
Hold on. We're back.
Why is that in there?
Are we back? Are we back for Lucha Underground here?
I think I'm
Can
gonna
I stop singing Lionel Richie now and talk about Lucha Underground?
I'm gonna cut it when me Lionel Richie songs, and then it'll continue.
I love how difficult we make this whole thing for you.
Well,
Listen,
is he gonna like start on Lionel Richie? Because the Commodores were a fantastic group, and their album Machine Gun is one of my top 10 easily. Although it does have a very dodgy song on it where he sings about young girls are his weakness. So
oh come on, like every band back then didn't do that.
Are my weakness. It's like, whoa.
Steely Dan, you think Steely Dan wasn't singing about young women? Led Zeppelin?
The Rolling Stones were shagging them, so there's a difference.
I need to ask your opinion.
Definitely.
Oh, hold on a second.
R. Kelly wasn't the first.
So, okay, now we're back to normal on the cube.
Wait, why am I all the way up there? I can't see myself up there. I like being down here.
Does anybody realise that Michael Jackson went to court when he was not having his skin issues, that he would have not gotten away with it? As soon as he was white, like, yep, sure, you can get off with that.
Is that why he turned white? To get off?
Hold on one second. Yeah. But Justin, I have a quick question because I was watching this YouTube show. 2 minutes.
Lionel Richie.
It's hilarious, but they did this one episode, and they were about to play. It's like a late night talk show sort of format. So they have the house band, and they were going to play a Led Zeppelin song, and they said like we're going to play Led Zeppelin song. We're going to play song. It's by Led Zeppelin, so it's about come. Or coming, and then and I just wanted. I have not heard. All right, you're.
Have you not ever listened to the lyrics of Led Zeppelin? The honey dripped down my leg.
They're all about
lemon
Lord
juice,
of the Rings, or about jism. Every single Led Zeppelin
song
is about. Come on! What does that sound like to you?
You know, but
let's discuss how shit Led Zeppelin are. Let's discuss that.
Oh, first
Led Zeppelin, terrible band. Terrible band.
It does hurt.
No, it's noise shit. They're really stupid. There's 7 songs in one song. It does my head in. Like Stairway to Heaven is a really good song, and then all of a sudden it goes into another song, and it's like, what do you do? No, I don't like. I like that whole beginning.
Come on,
that's Immigrant Song, which is totally different. Immigrant Song is a classic.
Looking back at the people who
told Black Dog's fantastic
is their favorite band,
we come from the land of the ice and snow.
By the way,
of the gods.
Fellas, carry on for 30 seconds. I'm going to be right back. I have to run and get something.
Keep calm and carry on.
No, keep going. I just have to get something.
It's going to be Black Dog next. Don't worry.
Okay, so I'm still talking about Led Zeppelin 2 or 4.
I just don't know. I just don't know why. I've tried with Led Zeppelin repeatedly, and I just get really irritated by them.
Even some of the later stuff that.
No. And like I've listened to King Crimson. So you know.
Oh, I love King Crimson. Jesus. Here's the thing about Led Zeppelin, Meatloaf. I'm not gonna claim that they have to be anyone's cup of tea. I don't think that Led Zeppelin does, but I will say that they are influential in music in a manner that can't be denied. I think that Bonham really is phenomenal at what he did. I think they really kind of all are. They all have. That's
the thing for me as well. It was like 3 musicians, and I don't really like I said, King Crimson. I don't really like jazz that much.
Okay, well, wait, Byron, why are you on the big shot just to show? Oh, Little Nero's Pizza, Los Angeles, California.
Have you
call 818-824-35. Well, I can't see the last.
What did you call them, Byron?
Around.
Jesus Christ! You can't use that word.
Huh?
It's the pizza place from Home Alone. I went to the pop-up and got pizza last night.
Oh dear.
From Home Alone that took place in Chicago?
Yeah.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah, I guess the rent was cheaper.
Boom.
Is there a John Hughes movie that does not take place in Chicago?
Next discussion. Who better, Ozzy Osbourne or Ronnie James Dio?
Oh, Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not a fan.
Oh, Ozzy had the better songs, but Dio's a better singer.
King Diamond over Dio any day.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah, all day. Sorry.
Early Rainbow, Man on the Silver Mountain.
No, Ronnie James Dio.
Man on the Silver Mountain.
I'm a big hater of Ronnie James Dio. You know what I think that Ronnie James Dio
I
should
love
do?
Ronnie James Dio.
I think that him and Sting should
Shave
form a
his-
tag
He's
team
dead,
called
but
Fuck
he's
Off.
not-
That's what
Fuck
they
happened.
should
What's
do.
wrong with Ronnie James Dio? He was like a little elf.
Nah.
In the Holy Diver video, he holds a long sword, which is probably only a dagger.
Listen, I'm going to
Right,
talk
the
about
tiger.
You don't
I'm
like
gonna talk
Sting?
about one wrestling match. I'm going to talk about one wrestling
You
match.
don't like
this-
Sting?
You want to know why I'm going to talk about one wrestling match
You don't
this
like
week?
bass players?
Is it Hogan versus Sting in Starrcade '87?
No. It is Johnny Mundo versus Prince Puma in Lucha Underground all night long. All night.
It was a match that happened for 45 minutes.
Listen,
That's
you
it.
sang the song for 15 minutes already. You already
All night
blew your
long.
rod.
It's more exciting than doing a Lucha Underground rewind about one match.
Okay.
Okay.
The
You know
Renettes or the Temptations? Go on.
You know what this reminded me of? The
I
All
love
Night
the Renettes.
Dose match.
Absolutely love the Renettes.
This reminded me of All Night Long Dose that won in overtime, and it continued to a second episode between Mundo and Mac, and I really enjoyed that. And we were there live, and they did a conga.
Return of the man.
That was a lot of fun.
Here's the thing. This concept is not brand new, but I like that Lucha Underground did it. I like that they dedicated this is basically the Iron Man match format, but they're basically
We're talking about Black Sabbath now.
all right, stop. Anyway, listen.
That's it. Let's point out the fact that Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath might be one of their best songs. What an intro song to an album.
Meef, I've got an album I have to send you called Casualties of Jazz. This friend of mine, it's
Oh, no,
three-piece
I don't like that.
organ.
Jazz.
No, listen, it's three-piece organ, upright bass, and drums, all Black Sabbath covers.
Okay.
And it's approved.
Okay. That
It's
sounds
approved by all the members of Black Sabbath. They're not taking
Have
any
you
money
ever-
from it. They approved it. The
Okay.
guys get to keep all the money. I know the drummer. It's one of the most amazing things you've ever heard. I guarantee it. Anyway,
Have
listen.
you ever heard of the band called the Silver Apples?
The Silver Apples. You have to say
They're
it that way?
fantastic. They're American. They're from New York, and they ran what they're called again? Transistors or whatever the fuck, the things you hook up. You know, Justin, because you're a sound engineer.
Wires?
XLRs.
Yeah, do you know when you hook things up, and basically made this into basically like an early drum machine, and it was made all these fucking crazy noises.
Oh, one.
It's like
Like a
yeah, it's like, but he keeps on moving it all and stuff. Yeah, but oh my god, no, not a theremin.
No, synthesizer.
He made this crazy instant. Yeah,
Like
you got to
Blue.
listen to Silver Apples.
Like a
I
patch
have no love, another's one. I burnt my fingers on the sun. There we go.
All right, so listen.
Fantastic.
This episode of Lucha Underground Season 1, Episode 32 is called All Night Long. It is Johnny Mundo versus Prince Puma. There is not a whole lot of storyline that needs to be accomplished here. This is simply Dario loves Mundo because Mundo put Alberto through a window and he's shown that he is a true heel. And now he gets to face Prince Puma. And the winner of this will go on to face whatever muckety-muck other bad storyline is going on in the background of number one contendership. So, the first thing I'm going to say about this is, again, this isn't the first time for this concept, but I love that Lucha Underground decided to do this here. I think during this first season in general, they tried out a few things with Grave Consequences, with their shitty version of Apuestas matches. They were trying to feel out what was going to work for them. And for Lucha Underground, a show that at this point had worked very well, having 4 matches in an episode when they were very quick, fast-paced matches. I thought that this was a very strong and scary call on their part. And they had to have a lot of faith in these two guys, given it is actually only about a 25-minute match with the TV stuff and the breaks and the rigmarole going on.
Yeah, but they probably also cut it down for TV too. So they
so it probably did go fairly long. I was not at this one. I believe this was actually filmed the day before or the week before I was there. And
I don't remember it either.
I think that one of the other reasons, and I'm not entirely sure about this, we can ask some of the guys, but I think one of the other reasons why this match was put together was because A lot of the performers did not make it back up to the States because of Pero and the stuff that was going on in Mexico, and they had less people in the locker room to work from. So they decided to give these two guys a really long match and fill up an entire episode with them because of the lack of performers that were in from Mexico on this one particular weekend.
That's smart. But also, they probably filmed it before we got there because they had Del Rio.
Correct.
So, yeah.
I believe I was there for one appearance of Del Rio.
Yeah, we're there for an appearance, but I think this was before he got that break.
Yeah.
It had to have been locked in before then.
So anyway, this it wasn't bad. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. I thought that these guys, they had the exact right level of gas tank to be the guys to pull something like this off. There's a lot of other performers that even some of the high flyers, I think, that wouldn't have sustained the right pacing and flow through this like these guys did. And I thought it worked really good. I liked, give Puma the first fall, have it kind of really quick count by Marty, establish the fast count thing so that we're almost not thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want those slow, dramatic, big, WWE championship counts in a match like this, because that's just going to distract people from the fact that we want a finished total. We want a number here and not a clean finish.
Mm-hmm. But what about the second pin?
What was the second one? Let me look at my notes here. Using the ropes.
Yeah.
Marty was clearly underneath it. And we know, there might be a little Tarantes in Marty. I don't know. Him and Johnny Mundo go way back.
That's true.
He needs to get some suspenders.
Marty himself has come on this show and talked about how him and Johnny Mundo have words in the back, and he seemed a little intimidated by Mundo, so maybe he let a few things go.
He does ref a lot of Mundo matches.
I mean, but in his defense, I will also say that Mundo makes Marty look like a narcoleptic because he puts him to sleep a lot in various ways. It seems like Marty is always taking a nap in the Mundo matches, especially in season 3 and on. So, but I like the fast count thing. I actually thought it played to the story well. Here's one of the things I got to say. Okay, Plunder in a match. I think everyone knows. I liked this little promotion back in the 90s called what was it called, Byron? Do you remember the name of that promotion? Little Paulie Dangerous thing.
Wang.
No, it was ECW. So I'm not a stranger to Plunder. I don't dislike hardcore stuff. I'm fine with it, even as bad as and detrimental as it may be. My problem is this: if you bring out a crowbar in a match, can we act like this mythical, imaginary, gimmicked item has at least the properties of some object that exists in reality? He smacks Puma in the head with it so hard, the thing just flops and bends. And then, yes, Puma is hurt. But let's be realistic. In real life, that would be a near-death concussion at best.
Isn't that when Vamp yelled he killed him or something?
Yeah, and it was a great-looking shot or whatever, but if you're going to have that kind of shot, there has to be a stretcher involved. And the gimmicked item itself, oh my God. And Lucha Underground has had a few bad gimmicked items, like, the toothpaste cinder blocks that they have had Cage. It's pulverized in there. Not the first batch.
Oh.
The very first ones he used were not okay. They were literally like powdered toothpaste, and they just went like one of them broke when he was trying to pick it up. Which didn't make, and I don't think you were there for that, but there was one that Cage picked up once that literally disintegrated in his hands because he couldn't even pick it up and do the move with it. Bad gimmicked items are just bad. The better form of wrestling is to do a softer shot with a realer item than a harder shot with a faker one, in my opinion. And this crowbar,
and you put your hand on the end, and then you just hit him in the stomach.
Oh, we get the story point, right? You don't have to Eddie Edwards it to get the point.
Yeah. Oh God.
You don't have to almost die on a chair, like it's fine. But anyway, I did not like the crowbar. I liked the fact though that once Mundo started getting some pins, he just racked them up, a bunch of them. Like that has almost never happened in an Iron Man match, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the genius Chris DeJoseph or Chris Roach things where they actually were like, you know what never happens in an Iron Man match? Some guy never really gets like half concussed and then the other guy just gets like 4 or 5 pins on him real quick. Like, wouldn't that be what really happened? Yes, that'd be exactly what would really happen. And then that guy would fight back.
I think some of them do hide it where after a pinfall, yeah, they're like a boxer qualification where you have to get back on your feet and tell the ref you're good, or there's like a 30-second countdown in between falls. There wasn't any in this match, so of course,
yeah.
One thing I've never understood as well: get someone in a submission hold and just keep it on.
Yeah, I mean,
you got 50 points just there.
I like the bringing real world psychology into fake world sporting. Like, if we're going to do it, like, even though it's Lucha Underground and it's completely fictitious, like the crowbar thing, come on. We see people legit get murdered in Lucha Underground with less than that. You know, if you're going to bludgeon somebody with a bull, they can die. If you're going to bludgeon them with a crowbar, they can't. I don't know about that. Anyway,
maybe that crowbar. Hold on, I have food in my mouth. It's rude.
So Byron, you weren't.
Maybe that crowbar is why Puma doesn't talk for 2 more seasons.
He got his teeth bent in sideways back in Paducah, Boyle Heights.
No, I mean with this
one area of Boyle Heights called Paducah. Anyway, Byron, you weren't at this one, were you? I know I saw Jimmy V in the audience. I saw J Ray. I saw Casey. I saw Vegas Canuck. Vegas Canuck was in the crowd for this one. Probably one of his first tapings.
Yeah, the old crew. Yeah. I don't remember this, but I think at some point we hit every single episode season 1 onward.
Yeah,
I think
so. Somebody did. One of us was typically always there from this point on, almost. I think
Casey was at like everyone.
Casey rode season 2 real strong.
Yeah.
I was in and out during season 2, and then season 3 and 4, I was there a lot. Well, season 4, I was at every single taping.
I wish I went to all those. I think I might have been the only one because even Mil Machetes missed one in season 4. Very few people made all of them in season 4. Aside from the goodwill being lost with season 3 and how the ticket system was being done in season 4 and the move, I think also a lot of people just didn't think they could get in anymore.
I thought the ticket system for season 4 was much better.
The communication was worse because the reality is all the original believers who thought they couldn't get in, like we heard it from Eric himself too. They could have just walked up during the filming and walked in
and gotten in most days until towards the end of the season when it was harder. But yeah, there was no problem. The very first taping and the very last 2 tapings were the only ones that you probably could not have gotten into if you had just walked up to the door and said, "Hey, can I come into the taping?" There were times when the standing room at the top wasn't even open in season 4, which was never the case in season 2 or 3 of Lucha Underground. Every single taping, it was packed up there.
Yeah,
in season 2 and 3. There's some in season 1 where it's not packed, but anyway, all night long. So the other things I want to mention, let's talk about Mundo going up to the band. I thought that was a great moment.
Yeah.
I don't know how planned it was for the band to start playing again because it didn't sound like the audio mix was really prepared for it the right way. But because for those who don't know, basically what happens is when you're filing into Lucha Underground, at a certain point, mostly after people get in and they've made sure that no one's using their phones and they do their little security stuff, the show doesn't typically immediately start. That's actually when the band starts. They have the lighting right. They hit record on the music. The band is not playing when you walk in. It's usually CD music. So the band starts playing and they record all of the band stuff. And then Stryker and Vamp do their intro, but not with the band playing. And then what will happen is in post, they'll edit it all together, put Melissa talking over it, all of those things, but they all happen individually at the tapings. So maybe that was just the band playing in mid-match. I think has always been an issue. I know that they had weird issues with Aztec Warfare in the past where they were trying to have the band play the drums live, but the countdown clock wasn't working right. Like, understand this about Lucha Underground. It is not a live wrestling show. It is a TV production. And there are very few live wrestling production people around at all. People that know how to pull off those live WWE events. Even at Impact, they probably do the live wrestling better than Lucha Underground ever did. And
How many times does Sexy Star have to retake matches?
Oh, just portions of matches.
We don't have that much bandwidth to go over all that.
I mean, I think the people who got the most retakes were her, Melissa, and Dario. Yeah.
Yeah. But Melissa and Dario were also doing, for at least a season, everything in 2 different languages, 2 versions.
Though there was one performer that got the biggest redo of all after putting his hand through a glass window. He got to redo his entire match 4 weeks later.
Oh, God, that was so dumb.
Yeah, that wasn't the brightest thing a wrestler's ever done. But anyway, so they go up, they do the little music thing. Puma, of course, works his way up after having set some tables. And you know what they say? If you set it, you get it. But they both got it in this case. Puma and the dive through the tables. Now, this was the first big spot that we've seen from the bandstand, right, Byron?
I believe so. Yeah, it's always been a bit of an afterthought, and so this was the first time there was interaction. And I remember from our Mariachi Loco interview, he brought up how a lot of the direction of that was supposed to be in his Loco gimmick, getting to brain someone with a guitar. Would have been cool.
Which would have been awesome. But yes, we had a guitar shot. We had a huge dive off the top.
I heard, by the way, Mundo was talking about this after it aired, and Puma wasn't really, globally or as known as Ricochet as he is now. And so he was telling Steve Austin about it on the podcast, and he was like, dude, this kid wanted to do a Spanish fly off the band stage platform. Like, what are they doing? So I talked him down to just a spear. That's insane.
Well, that spot eventually happened, and it was Sammy Guevara and Thunder Rosa in season 4, and it wasn't quite as high, though, in the Ice Temple, I don't think.
And it was onto a mess.
Also the place where the glass spot happened, was it?
That's where... But that was,
the bandstand was actually over the middle. The bandstand is the thing that's completely built to the set. The glass thing was over the other way. This is the same spot where Dante Fox took his barbed wire board spot from.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's spots from here, but I feel like this one was really Mundo and Puma in the back saying, did you see what that Angelico kid has done? Like being salty that Angelico has the big running spot off the office and that everyone else is getting these spots. And these two guys are like, we're like the kings of showing out. We need our own spot. So they decided to do the double table spear. And they landed perfectly, man. This was like, better than a Hardy Boys landing. This was great.
Yeah, it was good. It's always interesting.
Matt Hardy doesn't land too well these days.
No, he hasn't landed well for a while.
These days, ever. It is funny though to me, like this, I get it because they're falling from such great heights. But on Raw, when you see when they have the announce tables and Roman will do a spear off one announce table and land on the other one, that's a little goofy to me to do.
When the table explodes underneath him,
it's like you still speared them all the same. It's also like submission.
They don't even do the multiple announce tables out there anymore, do they? At one point in time, they always had 3, and it was getting to the point where it's like, this is ridiculous.
I don't know.
Like they just had to break one every single time because they had 15 announce teams right at ringside on WWE. It was ridiculous.
They're probably Velcro together.
On them.
I wish they would have.
Fuck.
I wish they would have kept the big monitors on there as opposed to the iPads now.
Yeah,
because that's just an iconic. Get to the table, rip the top off, grab,
or worse yet, do the spot on top of the monitor because that's when some real pain happens.
Mick Foley.
And Triple H has done it too. He's pedigreed people without taking the monitors off. And then what happens? He's the one that actually ends up falling over to the side and falling right on it, or hitting his knee on it when he's trying to pedigree somebody on a table. It's hilarious.
But also, the best bit was when he went to pedigree and the table collapsed. Who was that against? He went to the pedigree, and as he went to jump, the table literally went. That's fantastic.
I remember one of those times Kurt Angle just didn't remember the rest after that spot. Which might be not specific enough.
I do have to say, though, about this match, it was one of the very, very rare opportunities in Lucha Underground for an instant replay. It's only the second time we've seen one, and it might be one of the last times we see one, because they went to a commercial break after the table spot. They fast forward time a little bit, and they show you the other 3 angles of the spots. Now, usually Lucha Underground doesn't need it because the show is edited, so they can pick the best version of the spot to begin with. They're not like WWE or AEW that missed the spot in the shot or had some wide angle and you want to see the more close-up one. Though I will
Kevin Dunn's running your cameras.
I will say this, though. Nobody does a replay better than WWE. They know how to accentuate the move. They will do it in slow motion right up to the point of contact, and then to protect the business, they'll just put it back in regular motion so you just see the impact. And like, they do it so well. And they do it.
If we get 4 seasons in a movie, right? Do we get Skip Jason and John Woo together?
Yes.
What do you need John Woo for?
when you have
slow motion dives.
Yeah.
What do we need? Whoa! What
I'm
do we
pretty
need
sure
John Woo for? John Woo is literally like the man, Byron.
I know who
John Woo is. But if you've got Skip, you don't need John Woo or Ridley Scott or anybody. Like, Skip can do what any of those guys can do. That's the best part about Skip.
I just want John Woo to actually get a decent crack at an American film.
He got a Mission Impossible movie.
They ruined his career.
Wait, did he do?
It was a joke.
Did he do Face Off?
He did do Face Off.
That was great.
Did he do Face Off? There was a scene with doves flying. Of course, he did Face Off. The best one is the Killer, because the Killer, you can find so many different like audio versions, subtitled versions. So one of them is like Mickey and Goofy. The 2 cops call each other these names, and it's so cracking. They're so amazing. They got Mickey and Thomas as well. Tom and Jerry. They call each other Tom and Jerry. Sorry, it's fantastic.
Oh man!
And like I've watched about 15 versions of The Killer.
Yeah, I've seen it in 3 or 4 different languages. I watched it in French one day. I don't know why I decided I thought that it would be okay for me to watch it in French, but it was still pretty good.
No, it's fine.
So the other things about this match, there's not much else to say. Alberto gets his little run in to get some of his heat back at one point. That helps turn the tide a little bit. And then we get a series of Puma comebacks with a big somersault splash. Then we get the 630,000 senton or whatever. And eventually Prince Puma one-ups Johnny, gets the win, and is still your Lucha Underground campeon.
I enjoy the run-in, making things fair, establishing a balance as opposed to, like winning for Puma.
I enjoyed the run-in, except I do take a little bit of issue with a run-in that involves cutting a promo on the mic during a match. It did scream a little bit to me, one of these 3 performers has a giant ego. It must be addressed at all times. Because it seems to me that, like, DeJoseph probably wrote it, oh yeah, Alberto does a run and gets some of his heat back, and then Puma takes over and gets the win. And then when they were going through things, Alberto was probably like, yeah, I'm going to run in and I'm going to say a few words and I'll get him his heat back. And everyone was probably like, but it's in the middle of the match. And Alberto was like, no, I've got this. It's fine. Don't worry. I got you.
He kicks him down the stairs and then he has a fucking mic. And he's not even near it, like any of the announcing. He's not near where it would make sense if he came down to the ring and then went up and grabbed a headset or something, or went to like buy Melissa and took her mic and was like, I'm going to say something real quick. That makes sense.
Yeah, but it didn't make any sense. I'll tell you what made even less sense this week: giving Moose a hot mic on Impact. But that's a whole different story that we'll get to right after this.
Penis.
If you're listening to this and you haven't visited luchacentral.com, it's time to do it. luchacentral.com is the online home for Lucha Libre, where you can get all of the top news in English and in Spanish. Find the best curated video content and original content not seen anywhere else. Find when Lucha Libre events would be happening in your area. Find photo galleries from top photographers covering Lucha Libre around the world. From weekly polls to annual awards. Seen and read by top executives in all of the major Lucha Libre promotions across the globe. And on top of that, it's free. LuchaCentral.com, your centralized place for all things Lucha Libre.
Have you guys seen, by the way, How To with John Wilson? The TV show. It's on HBO. Just bootleg it. It's phenomenal.
Have you seen the Jack the Yorkshire Ripper on Netflix yet?
No, I will. I'm working on it. Editing.
It's fantastic.
I've actually been watching HBO Max a ton now that they finally put it on Roku.
Yeah.
I've been watching all the old Doctor Who's again. Well, not the old Doctor Who's, the new series Doctor Who's.
Do you like Nathan For You?
Do I like what?
Nathan For You, the TV show with Nathan Fielder.
What? Is it a comedy? I don't watch comedies.
Yes, sort of.
I watch sci-fi. I'm funny enough on my own. I don't need comedy in my life.
No, the Nathan For You. He's Nathan Fielder, and he's trying to help small businesses that are going out of business, and he gives them some advice, and then he uses the show to actually fund it and do something, and you see if it works. It's really great.
Maybe I'll check it out.
So the new season of basically.
I don't know.
No, we don't talk about Richard.
How To with John Wilson.
He is he is the only show that I have ever personally turned down on multiple occasions. I will not work with him. He's sexually assaulted and harassed people that I know. I think he's been protected by production companies forever. I think he's the biggest dick in all of television. He's a horrible, horrible human being. He's one of the few people in reality. I would work with Trump before I would work with that guy.
Wow.
In a heartbeat.
So How To with John Wilson, I can send you the trailer. He's a nice, sort of weird New York type of dude. And it's
a pedophile.
It's unexplainable what the show is about. But it's about
I'll check it out. Now, have you seen Dave on FX?
No, I saw the commercials for it.
Oh my god, you have to watch it. Episode 3, season 1, best half hour of sitcom television ever. Just so you know.
I do need to watch that. I think I just have a hard time getting it because I'll go to the FX app and it's like, here's Dave, here's a clip. Oh,
so it's time getting hard.
It's on Hulu. Just watch it on Hulu.
I have access to Hulu.
Yeah, watch it on Hulu. Dude, literally, you can watch the entire season in 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I
did that with lots of things the other day. I managed to watch 2 whole new series in one day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sitcom and it's only got 8 episodes, so it's literally like watching a movie to watch the entire season.
Have you watched Big Mouth? I quite like Big Mouth.
I'm a few into the last season. I love that show.
That and Mr. Iglesias. I watched both of them before 12 o'clock one day.
You said, "Oh, what are you owing about? Are we supposed to start? Are we back?
We've been back. We came back about right before you started saying bad things about someone.
Oh, just don't use his name so I can still get a job in the industry, but you can use all the rest of that because he's really a dick. Anyway,
the name.
No, I want to put Moose on the wall of shame. I hated that promo on Impact. I hated it that bad.
Wait. You watched Impact?
Impact?
Yeah, I watched Impact. No, Impact.
I haven't watched it in about 7 years.
No, I typically watch Impact once or twice a month. I don't necessarily watch every week. Just because there's only so much time in a week for wrestling, but
they do a good job of making the moments accessible online.
I tend to rotate my extra show of the week. It's typically either Raw, Impact, or AEW Dark.
Yeah,
I don't watch all 3 of those every week. No, I'll watch Raw sometime. Honestly, the lineup of people that they have on Raw right now is actually pretty good, and the Bray Wyatt stuff has been really good. There's been some good stuff.
Ricochet and Ali are there.
That's not good. No, that's not good. That's on Raw.
Oh no, it's fantastic. Like heel group of people with two of the most lovely, nice, happy to be there people in the world.
Yeah, so. and like, look, they're lovely. They're lovely individuals. They're great performers. I love them in the ring, but I would never, ever, ever put one of them in charge.
We're bad boys.
I mean, gimmick with a microphone.
I get Mustafa Ali. I get him having sort of an axe to grind, but also having an altruistic angle behind it. But I get that, and I mean, I don't watch enough to speak on the actual execution. Also,
this was supposed to be the whole Antifa angle originally, so we're saying the black dude from Paducah, and it's not cool.
And originally he was going to have the hacker gimmick, and then Sami Callihan beat them to the punch on the.
Okay, first of all, though, I'm going to turn my cam off, and I'm going to say my name is Casey, and I'm going to say, I wonder. I have a feeling Ricochet is an all lives matters kind of dude. You know, I don't know necessarily how much like he thinks through it, but I think he's he's like the kind of Jericho kind of guy who's like,
from Kentucky.
All lives do matter. All lives matter. Come on, guys, stop burning stuff down. Let's go to the Taco John. Hey, Byron's back on the show.
Yeah. I don't know if I sadly just don't know if I can disagree with that. That could be spot on.
Did you just call him an Uncle Tom?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
I can't look. If it was true, I would be the first one to call him that and have no problem doing it. I just don't happen to know if it's true or not. So if I find out it's true, I'll be the first one back on here to call him.
Get on Twitter. Twitter. Anybody who listens to this show, all bombard Ricochet this week with questions.
I'll tell you who I love.
Ask him if he believes in all lives matter. See what happens.
I'll tell you who I love.
But tag Twit well.
Here's what I don't love. I don't love the similarities in a lot of the African American gimmicks that are out there. I do not like the similarities between Swerve, Kofi Kingston, and Chris Bay. I really would like for them to find ways to separate these guys. I do not like the similarities between Street Profits and what is the other one? The Private Personal Party Profits people.
See, I
and Top Flight, they're starting to push in there a little bit now.
Yeah, but here's AEW they've just brought in like 2 or 3 new black tag teams, and they all have different like Top Flight. Top Flight is great. But they're kind of like the Private Party and kind of like the Bucks, like the indie spot fest. I'm not saying the other term for it. The indie spot fest match. That's kind of what they are.
Well used, Byron. I just suddenly thought to myself, then I was like, Jesus Christ. Jesus. You're not English, are you?
You have the Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed, which is that gimmick. I dig. I don't want to hear Frankie Kazarian rap ever again. And boy, is everybody at AEW, like all these cheesy athletes and wrestlers are like, yeah, that was actually cool. That was actually good. I am here to tell you, if you had a live crowd for that, you would have gotten crickets. He wouldn't have gotten booed. He would not have gotten booed. Nobody boos that because nobody knows what to do with that. You're not even starting your raps on the beat. Like part of the reason why the John Cena thing worked, because his raps weren't ever great, but people were like, oh, he's doing the stupid wrestling rap gimmick, and he's actually on beat, and he actually said something funny.
He's got bars, Justin. He's got bars.
And whatever, the Acclaimed guy, he does that a little bit. He pulls off exactly what Cena, like he's not some great lyricist or whatever, but he's got some funny little quippy one-liners. Yeah. He manages to do them relatively on the beat. It's a totally passable gimmick. But then Frankie Kazarian supposedly shutting him down in a rap battle, even storyline-wise, like it makes the announcer sound stupid. It makes everyone look dumb. It wasn't tongue-in-cheek like the Jericho and MJF musical bit. It wasn't. They were seriously trying to pretend like Kazarian got the better of him in a rap battle as if this was part of the storyline. It was horrific.
I saw that like he got the better of him. Like he just basically told him he was going to kick his ass. And like he wasn't like really, I don't know. He wasn't really, I didn't think he
I was waiting for Channing Tatum to come out and like force someone to do a dance off.
Yeah.
I wanted the resolution to Footloose at the end of this. It was terrible.
I love the Acclaimed. I love
Kazarian.
I love Kazarian too, but what I love about the Acclaimed, because you're talking about how gimmicks all seem the same. I also don't necessarily, because I don't watch the show, I guess, but I don't see how Kofi mixes with Swerve and Bay aside from being skinny. I think he has a lot more gravitas.
Same haircut.
Well, the hair. I mean, his hair changes like every few months, but
that haircut thing is a little more on both Swerve and Bay, who I think have chosen to look the way that Kofi has looked for 10 years now.
Bay, I think, is doing the millennial version of Swerve, and he's taking that Swerve thing and making it way more attention-getting.
I also feel like he was doing the current incarnation a couple of weeks before Swerve was.
Well, and what you need to do as well, guys.
Swerve was always kind of doing a little bit of that thing. Like, dude, I love.
Be careful. You don't want to upset
wearing Swerve when he was doing the Swerve before Lucha Underground. The 1 year right before that was the dopest to me, dude. Was the dopest. Yeah. Love
when
that
he's come out like slink into the ring real slow. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've been to shows in the Northeast where it's nonstop. Whose house, Swerve's house, and he was so over. It's still happening today, despite what's going on today. I don't. Maybe this is worth more discussing. Like Swerve has what can Swerve do to make people want to pay attention to him because he's good and he comes across as being really, really good, but also and cool, but also nothing about him has urgency. Like. He's kind of like, I don't know. Like
that's the character, though. That's the way you play Swerve. There's a way to get Swerve over. Yeah. There's a way to get Swerve over.
Swerve's like the cool cat jazz man.
Sadly, one of the ways to get Swerve over, though, is with fan interaction. When Swerve walks around the ring, when he's being heel Swerve and he puts the hat out and makes people pay him for his matches, that's dope. That's super duper funny. And it gets him way over. His dancing around the ring when he comes to the ring, like his persona and his presence, really, he designed it so well around a small crowd. Imagine the CWC with 400 people in it.
Yeah.
I mean, and letting him do his thing. And I almost feel like, and this is part of why he was frustrated with Lucha Underground, none of that was part of his Killshot character in Lucha Underground. It would have gone over so great there if you had him as Swerve interacting with the crowd. If you had legit had a Swerve Willie Mack tag team at Lucha Underground, they would have been through the roof over. And Mack got over with that. Mack got over later being Willie Mack, period. Mm-hmm. Doing his rehashed Stone Cold Steve Austin bits and taking them totally hood. I mean, he was... Yeah,
and dropping N-words.
He was stone N-word. Steve Austin is totally what his gimmick intentionally was. He wasn't under N-word or an N-word taker or whatever the other guy is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Still might be working to this day. I love one of the biggest pops I ever heard in the temple, and I think they cut it out. It was before I think the All Night Long dose when Mac cut a promo on Mundo. Paused and then Justin, you take it away. You say
called him the N-word. I will just say that he used the N-word towards Johnny Mundo. It was great, but it was totally like NWA would say it. It wasn't, like I'm going to lynch you kind of use.
And two,
was it like the Booker T Hulk Hogan moment?
No, much better.
No.
And far different context. It was more like not my home. It was more like he
was calling him if I could speak out of turn, I think he was like calling him a punk.
Yeah.
But with a different name. But also to, I think, the fans' credit, wrestling fans love chants. Lucha Underground fans love all sorts of chants. We got a Sparkles chant because the lawyer wore Sparkles on her jacket one season. Right? We'll chant everything. Thankfully, there was not a chant after. There was a holy shit chant.
Yes, there was a holy shit chant, not an N-word chant. That would have been... I mean, I tried to start one, but it just didn't go over very well. Casey looked at me and was like, nope, not doing it. Byron's like, nah, you're on your own, brother.
Sorry. So,
Even the darkest brown Mexicans in the arena were like, nah, nah, Holmes, that's not me.
dude, I loved how upset you would get for the return of the Mac chants.
Oh.
Anyone here at least know one beat? Someone spell the word rhythm in this room.
Return of the Mac clap clap. Return of the Mac clap clap. It's
Return
that easy.
on the Mac. Return on the Mac.
But the crowd was so.
You got to do that bit. You got to do the do.
You don't understand me. Like, there is none more whiter. I'm talking. I could see Mexicans in the crowd turning white doing the Return of the Mac chant. It was that bad. Like, come on.
Oh God.
Come on, my Latino brothers. Y'all got rhythm? Like, come on. Seriously. Latinos have good rhythm. Like, the Return of the... I can't... Steve Byron got me started. We're not even to that part yet.
Get into it, man.
No. Come back around episode 178 of this show and hear me talking about it when the crowd is actually doing it. All right. Listen, there's one last thing.
Better than the Terminator one.
There's one last thing that I'm going to talk about this week because it deserves to be dead last. It deserves to be dead last because people remember the first and last thing they hear the most. So this is the thing that you need to hear. Kenny Omega is your champion.
Yeah.
Oh, but
no.
We also got to talk about the fact that Kevin Kleinrock tried to do another toasted cheese sandwich, and again, he took credit for Mary-Lisa's work.
Yeah. Is that what it was? She started it for him?
Oh, no. I asked. I went, yeah, but we all know Mary-Lisa made this. And she's like, damn right.
Of course. So sad.
Yeah.
It's bread, cheese, butter, pan. Like, just get the basic version down, dude, and then we can help you make a good version of it.
I'd use a garlic butter stick as well. But
look, we can get him to the better version. He can't even take like some regular old margarine, spread it on bread, put it in a pan, put cheese on it, and put a top piece of bread with butter on it. He can't even get that far.
Welcome to the new segment, which is shit Kevin Kleinrock cooks in a microwave.
Oh,
vegetables.
The world is sad enough without that segment every week, Meef. I don't know if I could handle it.
But listen, here's the deal, guys. Kenny Omega is your champion. You know why he's your champion?
Cocaine.
Cocaine. Hell of a drug.
By the way, he's so hopped up on his energy drink.
We talk about Eric Clapton now.
Promos. He's on Impact, which isn't even live, and like he does like the he hits Rich Swann with a plastic thing, and he goes and he's just like yelling at himself, and Rich Swann has to lay down on the ground, and then he's cutting a promo, and he looks at his friends, and he goes, "Bullet Club, yeah," and then Don Callis runs in. If I may interject, if you don't mind, good brothers, you guys are going to have a match with these guys next week. Let's do it.
It's amazing. So here's my question about Omega. People are talking about like, oh, well, at best AEW is WCW back in the day and blah, blah, blah. No, honestly, AEW is not even that, because you know what WCW had, as much as people want to hate on it? No, WCW had huge names that could make you think that they were as important as anything going on in WWF. They had Diesel, they had Razor Ramon, they had Luger, they had Hogan, they had Ric Flair, they had Sting, they had
DDP.
Well, DDP was homemade, but no. Here's the thing: AEW at best has a whole bunch of DDPs. A lot of DDPs, a lot of guys that came up one place or another. They've gotten kind of to the top of the mid card. They could maybe hold down a top spot for a minute or two, but they're not going to be the guy that's going to make you turn off the other show.
I think they've got a lot of Lash LaRue's.
Except for Kenny Omega.
Well, for sure. Kenny, I mean, you look at like the purebred icon, whatever face of the show, that's Kenny from day one. And then I think the next version of that they're investing in, which it takes a lot of work. I think it's Hangman, but it's not, this or next year, but
God.
It's just
it's a lot of work.
Hangman at best is a DDP.
No, he's Hogan.
We'll see, because he's the most interesting character to me on the show, but I also see him as needing at least one more evolution, if not
Byron,
two. Before
is your favorite color beige?
I'm not saying favorite. I'm saying interesting. He has
Yeah, exactly.
He has stuff. He has stuff going on.
I thought he looked great last week in the thing he did with the Dark Order. I thought that was probably some of the best work I've seen him do yet. I'm not saying the guy doesn't have potential, but what I'm saying is Kenny Omega is your champion because he has to be. He is the champion outside of WWE. Period. He's the only one that has mattered in ages. None of these other guys who have held the belt, Moxley holding the belt did not rate.
Yeah.
He did not matter. It did not add up to anything.
What's funny about that though is the fact that basically everybody's like now like, oh, like your point about Moxley there, it been not mattering. It didn't matter when he did it in WWE either.
No, I thought he had a great run in WWE.
Who's the champion? Who's the champion in Japan right now?
Naito,
right? Would it be bigger deal if Kenny was the champion in Japan right now? Yes. Who's the champ in Mexico right now? Oh, wait. It actually is still Kenny Omega.
Atlantis, June.
Who's the champ in the United States outside of WWE? It's Kenny Omega. No one else rates. No one else rates. Naito couldn't. No.
Naito doesn't have the North American reach. He's still cool and still way over, but yeah, he doesn't have the North American reach.
Bring in Suzuki.
Correct.
But
I'm not saying that Naito's not sweet. I'm not saying he's not a great champion for their company right now. I'm just saying that I'm not saying that Moxley wasn't. I'm just saying that nobody rates like Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is your champion unless you're a super duper fan of WWE.
Yeah, but you're also saying like this guy who main evented the Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom, and was an IWGP champion and leader of the Bullet Club for a while. You're saying like that guy is a world champion, is world champion material. He had the pedigree before AEW. Like he wasn't made by them. He's supposed to.
Neither was Hogan when he went to WCW, but that's why I'm championing Kenny Omega. I'm saying that he is the one thing that you have that can make AEW compete for real.
No, I disagree with that. With the one thing, and I'm not going to go on a tangent about.
It's not Sting.
I'm not going to go on. No, well, I'm not going to go on the Moxley tangent. But Sting, by the way, was a draw, and you saw the ratings drop a little bit, and I think that's because hit like the what is Sting going to do factor of his segments kind of dipped, and then people had less interest in tuning in to see what he was going to do this week when he didn't do anything. So. I think he's a draw, and I think that shows that when it doesn't work in the ratings.
Okay, so
but AEW was formed on people that you want to watch over WWE. That's Kenny, and that's the Young Bucks, and maybe by extension a little bit further. But the Young Bucks, I think, have to be included in that.
Yeah, but they're the best indie wrestlers out there. That's what they're famous for.
That's what Kenny's famous for.
No, Kenny's famous for being a world champ. He's famous for being the guy that every year
6-star matches
think might show up in WWE and all of a sudden be the WWE champ. Kenny is a guy that everybody looked at and said, no, easily he could walk into WWE tomorrow, beat up Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar and take the belt, and everybody would be completely fine with that being plausible and acceptable and cool. No one has ever said that about the Young Bucks. No one has ever cared about that with the Young Bucks. What they want
TNA kicked them out.
What they want from the Young Bucks is to show up and be to put on a great match, to give you some of that indie credibility, to have a lot of fun with, but they're never going to be the people that are taken seriously by the old school terminology of wrestling. Kenny Omega can bridge both gaps. Young Bucks cannot.
I think,
and the only two other wrestlers I would say last year that you would put in the same bracket would have been Kross and Bandido, in terms of people that are known throughout the world. And
Kross is still young in it too, but you give Kross a few more years, even if he hadn't gone to WWE, Kross could have gone out on the indies for 3 or 4 more years and been huge.
I think though, this year should be the year where AEW really tries to fix that and get a roster of people that
I don't disagree.
You have Darby that now, hopefully, with the belt and with Sting in 6 months, Darby is popular now, and I want that figure. I want the Chase figure, and I want the blazer with the thumbtacks for that figure.
I don't disagree. Again,
like,
but still.
Another, and then you have Team Taz, which is getting a great push. That means Ricky Starks needs to be
great. But Byron, but at best, if you look at the comparisons, that still makes Darby Allin basically like your WCW Eddie Guerrero.
Or like Dolph Ziggler.
It makes him that guy that you know is great. He's going to be in the middle of the card. He had a little experience coming in. They put some good stuff on him, and he's getting over, but he's still not at the top of the card. Here's the thing. Look at Jon Moxley, and I'm comparing this to WCW back then for a reason, because there was a point in time where WCW actually overtook WWE, and this is part of what it takes. Moxley is your biggest WWE name that's come over, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you look at that by comparison,
maybe Jericho, I suppose, to a degree, but yeah.
Well,
Jericho. Jericho's a good example too. But here's the difference. And here's why, and Jericho is working to an extent, and I would say that he is part of the solution. But what you need, so if Jericho is your Hogan, what you need is for Moxley to be your Diesel. He's got to be your Nash and Razor Ramon. Like that's what needs to happen. The thing that WCW had that AEW doesn't have was that moment that Hogan turned. Was Mean Gene getting hit in the head with Coca-Colas. You need something that people are going to talk about that says this is now the promotion. There is something happening here.
Yeah.
They can't figure that out to save their lives because they don't have a writer amongst them. Jericho is still the best writer at AEW. And honestly, my problem is the fact that you need Moxley to be that Hogan guy because Jericho is more like Kevin Nash. He's coming in. He's a bit of a veteran. He's not as hot in his career as Nash was at the time, but but he's got the veteran status. He's funny. He's a good writer. He is kind of your Nash thing. He can come up with great gimmicks. He's put together a great stable, just like Nash did. He knows which guys to help push along. He's helping them out. He's your Nash.
I see a difference in Jericho and Moxley in that Jericho, of course, looking out for himself, but he is getting everyone around him over. He's kind of a platform for everyone around him. And then he also goes along with Mox, I think, is still at a much more selfish stage of the career. He would be.
But that's why I say Mox is the Hogan. Yeah. So what you need from Mox is you need people to say, oh my God, I have to watch AEW to see what that dude who used to be in the Shield is doing now. Yeah. But wrestling doesn't work that way anymore. It was so much easier with Hogan. Like you could look at Hulk Hogan and say to yourself, oh, what's the one thing we could do with that guy that will make all of this change overnight? Oh, turn him heel, paint his hair a different color. That's it. Like that's all they had to do. With Moxley, there's nothing you can look at that guy and say, hey, what's the thing we could do with Jon Moxley that's never been done before that would be interesting or compelling?
Nothing can be done with Jon Moxley to be interesting or compelling.
I really like Jon Moxley. I think just like the Swerve thing, a lot of his goes away without the crowd interaction. I mean, I think that's a big thing. But also, he is as a performer and a fighter on the show, he is kind of a son of a bitch. So what are you going to do? Make him heel? What would be different? And then
what you're going to do?
Right, censor him?
No, you know what you're going to do? Write a storyline. There's a reason why the Monday Night Wars worked. Write something compelling. I don't know. Jon Moxley kidnaps Tony Khan's dad, and all of a sudden the Jaguars can't play football on Sunday. Who cares? Do something crazy. Write an actual storyline. Write something.
Monday Night Football. They're shooting the owner in the skybox. After a commercial, waiting for a play, they're shooting him like there's the owner, blah blah blah. But it's and then Moxley out of nowhere comes and just fucking chokes him out and spits on his face and walks out.
Great, exactly. It would be something. And look at this. Look at this again. Why Kenny Omega is your champion? He is the first guy to get Tony Khan to do an on-air bit in one of his angles in ages. Going over to Impact, doing the thing with Shivani. Nobody's gotten Khan to do anything. People have pitched him on bits all the time. People have tried to push him into the Vince Overlord position or even the altruistic version of that on several occasions. He hasn't done it since the video game thing what, 2 years ago now?
Well, that was my point about
that was a money tie-in, by the way. That was Tony doing that shit for a paycheck.
that was my point going into triple mini though about Kenny. He, like Jericho, knows his stories and is on top of them and is engaged with them, and so that's why a lot of what he's doing means so much more, and that's why another guy like Don Callis can come in and help guide that story, and there's already so much for Callis to work with.
Well, I'll tell you the good news. To sum it all up, here's the good news. Lucha Libre FMV is never going to sue AEW because Kenny Omega never mentions AAA or shows the belt on TV.
Maybe that's
so
why.
their IP is completely protected here in America by AEW.
That's why it makes sense. I bet they really want to. I bet Tony Khan really wants to put the Mega Campeon belt.
No, here's the thing. Tony Khan probably doesn't even barely know that Kenny has it. And the second that Kenny says, hey, I want to put this belt on TV, they'll do it immediately. Wrestlers book themselves. The top guys at AEW book themselves. Kenny Omega walks in, sits down with Tony and says, hey, man, I want to do this and this. They chat about it a little bit. A couple of the agent guys get involved. They flesh it out. That's it. It goes on TV. That is literally the entire process at AEW. So if Kenny Omega doesn't come into the room and say, hey, Tony, hey, Arn, hey, guys that, in the know, that's basically how they book things over there. If he doesn't say, hey, man, let's run an angle where I bring out the AAA belt this week. Somebody want to call Conan and see if that's cool? That's all that would have to happen, and he doesn't do it because it's entirely up to him.
You know why they don't do it?
Fucking writers.
Don Callis doesn't want to have to carry a wrestling belt behind Kenny for the whole show.
True. So that's not like Kenny's young boys are saying, yeah, I want to make the bag 25 pounds heavier.
That's where, and you guys keep knocking Mox, but the first thing he did in Japan was he went and got a young boy to carry his shit for him.
Look, if Mox had the AAA Mega Championship, he would have put it on TV. He would have begged for it to be on TV. I guarantee it. And it's not that Kenny, I just think Kenny just doesn't even remember or care.
To be fair, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Mox wanted to do a lot more Japan stuff in COVID and blah, 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 but Mox is the new Japan. He's the IWGP United States champion. And so and he's not going to be defending the belt of Wrestle Kingdom, and he's not bringing the belt on TV at all. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if he's AEW world champ, you don't want to have him with a lesser belt on another show?
Maybe. I don't know. I would dude, I don't know. I think that everyone needs to get over themselves. Put all the belts out there, any place that they can be out there.
Yeah,
if some performer in some other promotion is holding the belt from your promotion, you should be making a phone call every week to see if they'll put that thing on TV. You should be offering up other stars from your show to go over to their show. And I don't care if it's a smaller show.
Free advertising.
Impact's is doing it.
Free advertising.
In that run or in that backstage brawl, Kenny held the belt in Rich Swann's face and said, this is what a real champ looks like.
Old school NWA way of doing things. And big surprise, Billy Corgan actually learned that. And what do you see? The NWA women's belt is all over the place. The only reason his men's belt isn't all over the place is because Nick Aldis can't travel around and do that right now.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just saying, look, there's a way to do things.
I have a question. Could Nick Aldis show up in AEW and without having to fight Cody? I think that's holding him back from AEW.
Yes. I think he could. Will that be the case? Will Cody let that happen? No.
I mean, I think they have to have that rematch if he shows up, or else it's like elephant.
Well, what you can expect from Cody for the next few months is
he's got to gain a little bit of weight.
Did you see how Brandy reacted a few weeks back? I have a feeling that the character that was established for television is going to become very, very, very real in Cody's life. When Cody comes home, he's going to have a very, very nice young lady with some very, very swollen feet that is going to I imagine this is going to be the worst year of Cody's life. And I just find it so appealing and entertaining. Brandy is an absolute sweetheart. I think she's going to just give it. run roughshod over Cody for a while. And he's going to do it because he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
But I do have to say congratulations to them. If you guys haven't heard the news, Cody and Brandy Runnels are expecting. I couldn't personally be happier because, as I've said before, these two people look like my parents. So I am very pleased by it. Mulattoes are taking over the world, damn it. We're coming after you. And the next one is going to be a Runnels. I think Dusty would be super duper happy about the whole thing. I think the baby is going to come out lying down and punching people. It's going to be awesome.
Dustin's going to be the best uncle.
Oh, come on. You wouldn't love him as your uncle? He'd be great.
He's going to teach the kid how to cause so much trouble. Hey, this will really make your dad's head explode. Do this thing.
Yeah.
Build in like crazy shits in the back garden.
As Byron and I were discussing earlier this week, sadly, this means you're not going to probably get the Brandy and Jade feud. Jade's going to have to mix it up with someone else. And I'll say, and it looks like Red Velvet's going to be involved. Here's my biggest issue with that feud now. You put Ivelisse and Diamante and Red Velvet and Jade and whoever else. Oh, and Big Swole in that whole thing. Oh my God, that really means that only Swole should ever get a microphone. And that also is scary.
It's weird. I mean, I really think Ivelisse is a great performer, blah, blah, blah. But it just, this whole EW run, even when she's getting better, she just seems like she's still running through the match.
Yeah.
She's not doing it for
cameras. But you know what? Maybe they should give Evie the stick. Evie can work on mic.
Yeah, I just don't know if her head's in the game. You know, like Lucha.
I don't know if she knows the answer to that. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to that. I believe that some weeks it absolutely is, and she is one of the top performers out there. And I think at other weeks, she's just off the mark somehow. She's just out to lunch, and nobody quite knows why.
But
she overthinks herself. She's second guessing herself all the time.
With that tag team, with those people put together, I don't necessarily know who I should care about. Like Swole, I think the most out of all of them, she still needs more time, more grooming. She still needs to work with other wrestlers who are better than her to sharpen. Because like she's even like working her version of a Cloverleaf with Dean Malenko, and she's doing the Tiger Bomb into it, and she's doing the knee into the back like the elevated Boston Crab, and it looks kind of cool, but she's not smooth with it, and she doesn't get it all the time. And the Tiger Bomb even is, I think, a new move for her, and it's just a lot of up and comers. And Swole, I think, is probably the best one out of all of them right now. And she's still someone who needs someone. And like Velvet, I don't think should be getting wins on Dynamite for a long time. Wins on Dark, keep working. Let's get to know her and like her on TV. But like she is still brand new. Like you keep Brandy out, and that's a huge vacuum of star power.
It is, and that's the sad thing about it. But at the same time, look, congratulations, Brandy.
Yes.
Hopefully the girls can hold down the fort while you're gone, because I think it's super duper awesome. We can't wait to see little baby Runnels running around out there with you guys. That's super great.
Feel free to tweet the show at MMMshow75 if you're looking for name recommendations, name suggestions.
Ooh, I got some good ones. For brown babies.
I got one good one.
Listen, I got a little bit of house cleaning to do. I'm going to say happy holidays and happy new year to everyone. We will not be on the next couple of weeks. You can find us back here in the new year for episode 150. Can you believe that we've almost done this 150 times? So we will be back in the new year with episode 150 at a new time on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So make sure you come back then. Also, head to our Twitter account at MMMshow75 and fill out the Expo Lucho survey. We want to know what you are interested in seeing and doing for next year's Expo Lucha. It's going to be really weird. It's going to be right in that time when maybe America's back from COVID. Maybe it's not. Who knows? It's incredibly fun trying to plan any kind of event in advance in the middle of a pandemic. So the overlords over there at Mass Republic and Expo Lucha really just want you to answer a survey, what you're looking for, what you're into. It's a quick thing. Take you 2 minutes of your time, and you can get it from our webpage as well. And also, I want to say this to the new people, the old people, the people that are people who have been watching, the denizens of deliciousness, the Goatses, the Zeuses, the Albertos, the everybody who watches this show.
Kevin Flynn.
Kevin Flynn especially, Angie, all the ladies too. We have. I feel so bad for the ladies that watch the show. Yes, we do have to advertise the Manscaped thing now, but at the same time, thank you for continuing to listen to us.
Also, wink, wink. It shaves hair.
Yeah. And when I finally get mine, I'm going to get Paula to try it.
It's there. I'm okay. I'm not going to. Factory recommendations are for testicles. Let's just keep it. Anyway, and you can find those at www.manscaped.com with special code MMM for a 20% discount and free shipping. Anyway, look, thank you guys for all sticking around with us throughout this whole year and our welcome back year. This is episode 149, almost 150. We've been doing this a long time, and we took almost a year and a half off in there, and we still got to one. We started before Conan's show, so we should be at a higher number than them, but we're not.
Well, it's going to be hard to get higher than Conan.
If we kept going every week, we started our show 4 weeks before he started his current.
I was doing a drug reference.
Oh yeah, I didn't even catch that. Maybe because.
What are you trying to say, Byron?
What? I already forgot what.
That's all the housekeeping for now. The Lucha Underground thing is out of control. Hopefully, by the time we come back in the new year in 2021, we'll have some more information for you. We'll try to line up some more awesome guests for you for next year. And I want to say thank you to my co-host at the Jimmy V, who's out there somewhere. Hope you're feeling okay, brother. To at Professor, at Lucha Gringo. I think
he's doing Queen's Wave.
Doing something important. That's more like
he's doing something with children.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. He's not the one that has the restraining order for that, Mr. Megan's Law over there. To my homie at MeFlo, thank you so much for being a part of all the stuff that you do with us and for, basically having been the coolest internet troll we could have ever possibly met to the point where we were like, dude, you should be on our show. You're an awesome troll.
We almost, I mean, if he didn't come around, it probably would have been Brandon.
Sorry.
Cheers.
That was fun.
Wrong.
It was fun to have him on that one time.
Wrong, Brandon.
Casey had an issue with it, but I saw him in the crowd on this past episode too. So even big shout out to Brandon and to at Byron Fever, who you guys don't know, but he just does so much work on this show now. I used to do a lot more of this stuff, but I'm just tremendously short on time these days. So Byron has been doing editing and promoting and this, that, and the other thing. He spends copious amounts of time on this show. He is the true producer of the MMM show. So to him, I say
an absolute bastard.
Yeah. I say a big happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay black, happy Kwanzaa, all that stuff.
Wait, sorry, can I do that?
Sure. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Bring it on. We're not afraid of that. Just so solidarity, brother. Solidarity.
Just don't get a spray tan.
When I put it up. Why?
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. You're not co-opting it. You're not taking it over. You're just sharing it. Sharing in the glory.
He's taking it back for the white man. That's what he's doing.
I enjoyed the Black Lives Matter protest this year. It was great Instagram content for me.
Yeah. That's it. I have nothing else to say. So until next time, till 2021, keep your mask on, keep your head down, don't cause any problems, stay calm, and stay in the mix.